Okay. Um, Hello, everyone. Welcome back. And just need to see where I left off uh, with the earlier video. I was talking about the General Assembly and the constitutional laws. Apparently, we have some changes this year, and apparently, um, the hope is that you all will pretty much ignore what's been going on and kind of uh, give Mr. Cunningham a pass. That's what he's looking for. However, we need everyone to actually understand that giving him a pass and the uh, general counsel is the equivalent of supporting anything and everything that's wrong with the organization. Making sure that there's no issues with the connection. Okay. Giving them a pass is to make sure, is to support everything that's wrong in the organization. And they don't need a pass. As I have shared, as I have said, um, we simply need people who's going to stand up for and who's going to speak out against wrong, as well as stand up and defend right. Mr. Cunningham and these men on the council is not it. For over 30 years now, these men, in fact, way longer than that, these men have done the most to tear away, tear down, tear up, tear within as well as without the organization known as the United House of Prayer for All People. With that said, at any rate, this is where we are today, and we don't have a choice. Um, we have to deal with the situations as they are. Before we really get into our conversation tonight, I was talking about the elders' credentials earlier, and apparently it's surprising that um, every elder of the organization was supposed to be inside of the General Assembly every single year, as we've seen with the Constitution that we had. Now, for those of you who really don't understand, we don't really have a choice but to use what it is that we have, right? So we use what we have because we did not know, the members, that there were other things that we could have been doing. And as a result of not knowing, we're now where we are because the individuals who were in the know have taken so much advantage of us. Um, with that said, let me touch on a couple of things. It was said by Mr. Cunningham on one occasion that I can think of at the moment, but it's been said by him on several different occasions. There's one occasion I'm thinking of. However, it was said that people have their opinions and their theories. And of course, he was alluding to myself having opinions and theories. However, if all I have are opinions and theories, then my question for Mr. Cunningham, or the general counsel for that matter, my question is, if I'm wrong, then why are there no corrections? Why am I not being corrected? Why is there no response? Why is there nothing being done? Why is there nothing being said? Why is there nothing at all coming from the headquarters? If you're telling the people that all I have are theories and opinions, then should you not offer facts to correct my theories and opinions? I've maintained and have told people quite often that if there's something that I'm stating that's incorrect, that I stand to be corrected. Anybody can correct any of the statements that I make. Anyone can call me out on any of the things that I've said. And I will come back on and apologize and make the record straight. Our leaders in the organization, such as they may be called, um, though they're not real leaders, have done nothing at all to correct, to even respond to the statements that I've made. So, again, if I'm wrong, if all I have are theories and opinions, then you would think that that would be all the more reason for you to make a statement, for you to come forward publicly to address all of these things. And now we're looking at going on a year and a half worth of videos, um, almost 500 videos later, and response, not one response coming from the leader of the organization, the man who claims to be legitimately the CEO of this organization slash bishop, but nothing whatsoever. All the meetings that have been held, all of the efforts, the energy that you exert to cover up, as well as keep the members from learning about the details that should be brought forward, is pretty telling. So, with that in mind, if I have theories and opinions, then the best thing that you can do is to make statements to actually combat what it is that I'm saying, as well as to set the record straight. Um, why, before we go further, why would we have? I just received something, actually, I think within the last hour. And I want you all to, again, pay attention. This this is the, let me turn the lights down. Okay. No, too much reflection. So I'm just going to read it. Um, this is the General Assembly for this year coming up, May 22nd, 2026. And it has the program on here. And the program is supposed to be called to order by Mr. Howe, the national representative, and a hymn by Mr. Jeffrey Collick, and scripture by Mr. Scott, prayer by Mr. Young, D. Young. Um, Same as before, but here's the thing I want to point out. I would like for you all to pay attention to this. And notice here, the order of business, roll call, minutes of the last General Assembly, which you know they're going to waive it. They're not going to read it. Even if they do read it, it really doesn't matter because they control that too. There's nothing there. But roll call, minutes, election of the secretary, and then benediction. Okay, by Mr. Baptist. But what do you see here? Roll call, minutes, election of secretary, and benediction. What is that? What does that show you? It shows you that he's planning on doing absolutely nothing. That is the order of the General Assembly coming up, the order of the program, the order of business, I'm sorry, coming up this year is to have you all spend all this money to travel from all over the country, just as you've been doing every single year. To get there, pay all this airfare for plane tickets, train tickets, cars, gas, buses for those riding buses, hotel registration, food, just to be there for a meeting where, incidentally, they're going to find any and every elder that does not have their credential, even though we showed you earlier today that the law does not rightfully require a credential for all the elders. The problem here is all these people are being called from around that organization. And congregations have to raise money for these individuals to make their way to Washington, D.C. for a mandatory meeting. And they're coming there to do no work, to sit there from the morning until the afternoon while Mr. Cunningham is going to come in. 9 o'clock is orientation, 10, 11, 12, 1, 1 or 2 o'clock, 4 to 5 hours later. While you, if you're a delegate, they expect to sit there and do nothing. That's the upcoming program. Now, here we are again. Special notice to all pastors. Okay? Pastors want to make sure that there are minutes taken of your congregation's election of representatives to the General Assembly. Make sure that minutes are taken of the congregation's election of representatives to the General Assembly. This is defense. He's getting ready to run defense because they know that there's things that we're going to be doing on our side, and now he's trying to prepare for it. Here's the bottom line, people. When you see a bishop, fake leader in any organization, when you see them running this hard and this long and making changes to cover their tracks, to openly twist and change and flip things, when you see them saying absolutely nothing with someone who's bringing allegation after allegation after allegation after allegation after allegation over and over and over and over and over, and there's nothing, no response, nothing said, nothing done to fix anything or bring members into the knowledge of anything, and yet they're running. He is running all over the place. He's running. which is why no one in the organization knows where he is. No one can reach him by phone. Nobody can call. Nobody can expect calls. There's no calls being returned. Just about there's no calls being accepted. Letters are not being answered, addressed. Chairman's, councilman, nothing. No, when you are dealing with this type of leadership, that is your cue to either bail or stand up as fast as you possibly can and as loudly as you possibly can to fix this mess. This is what he's asking of the pastors now. Let me read. All representatives must be a faithful and dedicated members, underline now, drawing attention to that, which means for the pastors, not a faithful and dedicated member. It means pastors, you know what I'm looking for. That's why it's underlined. Okay? Faithful and dedicated, which means y'all better make sure that these delegates, whatever you got to do, that they behind me. That's what that means. You don't have to underline faithful and dedicated. But when you underline it, you just helped us out. I'm not going to, you just helped us out. Look at this. Pastors and representatives of each house, this is new, must enter the designated entry doors together at all times. The pastor and representatives must come through the door together. Your delegates got to be with the pastor now, hand in hand, as they come through the doors of the General Assembly. Here's another one. At all times, you got to be with the pastor. Now, they did this last year, but people said that they didn't. But now we have it in black and white. They want your pastors to hold the hands of the delegates like they're toddlers going to preschool. These delegates must now be beside their pastor, be with them. We want to see you with them. You stand beside them, pastors. They need to be with you at all times. Don't y'all see intimidation, fear tactics? This is so that the pastor has his eye at all times on the two members beside him. And I guarantee you, if they're telling these pastors to have their eyes on the members in their congregation, I guarantee you, anything they see, Mr. Cunningham is telling these pastors to report it. And anything they find, Mr. Cunningham is giving the orders to the council on that fake credential committee to come up with reasons to excuse people and send them out, to excuse them from the General Assembly. He is now in full panic mode. This is full panic mode, literally shaking in his boots. This is the type of leader, this is the type of man that members want to follow, who's all out in the open corrupt, all out in the open filthy, dirty, along with the members around him called the General Council. These are new. These are not laws. These are not rules that the members ratified. Now, I'm going to show you all as well. that everything before it goes into effect, it has to be by law approved by the people. See, this is right here. This is a strong arm tactic. This is one more method that he's using again to intimidate the pastors to have the members of that congregation right beside him. Goes on to say another new one, a new rule: pastors and representatives. You can't make this stuff up. Pastors and representatives must present official governmental picture ID at time of entry: driver's license, passport, military, or state ID. They want identification. I'm sure, I'm sure, excuse me, I'm sure there's some individuals on these doors and they have lists of names. And if the pastors don't catch them, this list, they're going to make sure that those lists of names are in the hands of the credentials committee at the door. And if you happen to pull out identification and your name is on that list, they're going to use that list to find you unqualified to attend the General Assembly. I'm telling you, this is all classic textbook. I'm telling you, these are all methods that he's utilizing to try to separate people and keep them out of the General Assembly. They're scared, they're scared, they're scared to death. They know that all it's going to take, especially now that we're talking about this law, that I'm showing you the ins and outs of what this council's been doing behind every one of your backs, what the General Assembly Secretary has been doing behind your backs, the General Council judges and the bishop using everyone in his power on that council to come full force at the people, to try as best they can to terrify the people. The problem is right now, the people are the ones that are beginning to see a shift. Since people are beginning to stand, since people are beginning to back up, since people have already stopped giving money, stopped paying tithes, stopped paying G-class, stopped giving house offering, stopped giving pastor's offering, because there ain't no pastor that deserve a dime from anyone. Since the people have began those things, they're now terrified that one person is going to stand up and make a motion. A second person is going to stand up to second that motion. And then they're going to have a discussion, and someone's going to put up the vote for the people to vote to end it all. Just like that. I'm telling you, it's over. And now with this, to the pastors, they're scared. So let me show you another one. Here, 1 second. One second. Okay. Now, the next one on here is no cell phones, no tablets, no computers, no recording eyewear, or any such electronic devices shall be permitted into the General Assembly meeting. None of this stuff. I remember people used to bring in iPads. They don't want iPads. People used to bring in tablets. They don't want tablets. People used to bring in dictaphones, the little battery operated recording devices. They don't want them. No more. No more. People used to bring laptops. You could do all of this stuff. It's just a meeting. And now he said, no, 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 no. We don't want no laptop. We don't want no iPad. We don't want no tablet. We don't want, look at what it says. Recording, eyewear, any such electronic devices shall be permitted into the General Assembly meeting. Again, they're making stuff up, but they're expecting compliance from you all. They expect compliance from the people. Pay attention. But who does not have to comply? They want the people to comply, but they're not complying. They're not complying with the laws inside the house of prayer. They're not complying with the rules, regulations, or the Constitution. They're not complying with the regulating agencies outside. They're not complying with the laws of the land. They're not complying with the tax codes of the IRS. They're not complying with the state regulating laws, as well as the state offices of the IRS. They're not complying with anyone, but yet they want you and I to comply with everything they say. This is the biggest hypocritical body and leadership. I've been here over 40 years. It's still unbelievable to me. So let alone other individuals trying to understand what's going on in this organization. There's a sign in New York. It's one word. It's the longest one word sign in the city of New York. Forget-about-it. And it's pronounced, all New Yorkers know this word, forget about it. Forget about it. This organization has been manipulated and lied to so much that we're accustomed to the lying and the behavior of these backwards, backdoor, closed room, leading group of manipulative, deceptive, narcissistic men with a woman at the top. And it's been such a long time with these practices that, quite frankly, the people come to expect them to try to put fear in you. I'm telling each and every one, the members don't need to be afraid of them. They're showing you that they're terrified of the members. They're terrified of the members. Before we continue, let me read some of the comments real quick before we get too far ahead. Mr. What do you believe? The truth can withstand the test of questioning. Mr. What do you believe is always on point? Always on point. And as I was saying, Mr. Cunningham said that I have theories and opinions, and yet he does not come forward with any type of correction to address the things that I'm saying to anyone. And Mr. What do you believe said the truth can withstand the test of questioning. In other words, Mr. Lewis has been challenging all of you to come forward, set up a date, set up a time. I even said in a video a couple of weeks ago, before he came to Charlotte, he said nothing. While he was in Miami making his way to Charlotte, he said nothing. But last year, at the beginning of the year, Mr. Cunningham, all of you making videos, putting them on YouTube, lying on me in the house of prayer. If you in here, be out here tomorrow. He ain't never said that again. And everybody knows why. And Mr. Cunningham, you, sir, are exposed. And when you called people online cowards, not willing to go to stand in front of people and look them in the eye and tell them what you have to say. When I came there to Newport News, Virginia, sat there and looked at you while you sat right there and did nothing, said nothing. You were the one afraid to look me in my eye and say what you had to say. And everybody there saw it. But behind closed doors, as you travel, you have a whole lot to say. And the members can see that you have nothing but empty words, nothing but empty words. And people are bailing on you left and right. And you're being left sitting right up there high and dry while some people still come to play in the music, the bands and choirs still sing. But a lot of them see through you and they know exactly the things that we're saying on this channel and others now is 100% correct. There's no denying the things that we're saying. So what Mr. What Do You Believe is saying is the truth can withstand the test of questioning. I can stand in front of you all day long, any day of the week. You run from me every single day of the week, all day long. It's now been a year and a half. So I said at the end of last year's convocation season that I was going to stop chasing you. And that's why I have not pursued any of the services. So historically, Mr. What Do You Believe says they have learned to invoke their right to remain silent, especially when it comes to the prophet's behaviors. Now, I looked at that first sentence and took from it something to show that the truth is not afraid of anything. The second sentence, they have learned to invoke their right to remain silent, especially when it comes to the prophet's behavior. The general counsel invoked their rights to remain silent, talking about the Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you. But not only the council, also the General Assembly Secretary, but also Mr. Cunningham and Miss Madison herself. Quiet as a church mouse. Nothing to say now. Everybody can see through you. The bottom line is, however, that we're getting closer and closer to the opportunity that the members now have to come into that meeting and stand up for themselves. And here's the other thing, members, I want you all to understand this. I want you all to understand this. Mr. Cunningham is using the general counsel. He's using the General Assembly Secretary. He's using the men that he has in position as pastors around the organization, so that when they come into that General Assembly, they're going to do everything in their power to intimidate and try to instill fear in you. Period. Guards, security is going to be all over the place. By initiating rules and safety measures on their behalf to take away electronic gadgets, it puts them in a position where right now they think they have the advantage because people are hearing, oh, we can't have this, we can't have that, we can't have this. Oh my gosh. So what's going to happen? What's going to, no. The reaction to all of this is to be 10 toes down. Anytime members are waking up to fraud, to illicit and illegal and manipulative, narcissistic behavior, those members begin to get upset. There's many people who are angry because They loved you so much, and they feel like they've been betrayed, that you have deceived them, and they put their heart and soul in what they were doing for the organization behind you, only to have seen in the paperwork that you got your buddy, Mr. Murray, sitting beside you as beneficial owner of the organization, that you two, y'all get to be happy with all of the benefits of the organization, depending on what happens. The problem is people left and right are extremely upset. And I've been telling people, don't be upset. Don't be upset. Be thankful. Be grateful, because now our eyes are open to the truth and we're no longer under the blanket of indoctrination. We could still easily be right there, being amongst the people who are jumping on buses to go and do things simply because Mr. Cunningham said so. We could easily have been one of them. Um, Let me finish this as we go through the rest of the comments for now, or some more of the comments. Bine said, I agree 100%. Mr. What do you believe? Mr. Green says, hello, everyone. Mr. What do you believe? Pre-internet, it was easy to get away with certain things. Absolutely. And this is what I was saying. There's been other individuals that have tried to do what I'm also doing with the individuals helping me, especially with my wife, trying to do. But because we didn't have the resources, we didn't have the tools at that time, it was difficult. We started writing letters, and the letters were taken down. The letters were removed. The pastor here, Elder Forney, in Mooresville, went around to people's homes taking letters. And I thought when I got the phone call, what in the world? And I did not go to ask him about it. I left it alone because I don't want to give the impression of anything. But I also went back around and handed out more envelopes. And I told the members, this is your property. He does not have the right, nobody has the right to come and take anything from any of you. And this is the problem. These pastors have been pushed by these chairmen to intimidate people. Most of them are women, and these are men bullying women all over the organization. Women, many of them of which they don't have a husband, many of them of which they don't have uh, anybody there to see to it that the pastor does not boss and order them around. And the women are too intimidated in a lot of these cases to speak up or say anything about it. So this is what's been going on consistently in the organization for many, many years now. Pre-internet, it was easy to get away with certain things. You mean to tell me that our Father, Heavenly Father, did not warn Brother Bishop, his holy manservant, that a time would come when he couldn't outrun the technology? Again, Mr. What do you believe? Hitting them out the park. This is supposed to be the man in the land today. This is supposed to be his holy anointed man servant. This is supposed to be the one who's hearing things from heaven. I see destruction coming. I'm praying that he does this. If you praying, why are you telling everybody else to pray? Why are you telling them that they got to go out there to the house of prayer to pray? If everything that you're saying is accurate and true, then why are you telling people that you are God on earth? You, the God that God is using today. But when I see that God needs my help to get a prayer through, when I see that God requires the help of everybody. God is calling on everybody to come and pray for him, with him, to keep back trouble. You have literally got to be the weakest, no power having, no ability possessing, no request granting God that I've even ever heard of. There are false gods in the scripture, and there's many that's not in the scripture. But at least, even though they were false, they could request things. I'm sorry, answer people's requests. They could give people things. They had powers and abilities to do things. And people would see many things being done, especially by false prophets who is involved with many of these false gods and doing things behind people's back, using black magic, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it. And they're getting things done. You, however, sir, getting nothing done. Literally, absolutely nothing. And the one that you are serving is laughing at you because the true and almighty, our heavenly Father, the creator, has already told us in his word how to determine a false prophet from a real prophet. And out of the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, no. Out of the millions, hundreds of millions of prophets in the world today, with over 8.7 billion people, there's millions and millions of prophets. For us to have a booklet that says you are literally the only prophet in the land, in the world, the only one, is so laughable. In the scripture, yes, those men were what they claimed they were. But the Father didn't call them a prophet. He had prophets all over the place, even though the title, that name was used sometimes to describe them. He said they were his servants. And if you're serving him, why is it that just about nothing you say ever comes to pass? And it's like, Mr. What do you believe is saying? Why is it that you didn't hear anything whatsoever about this time, this period, where you wouldn't be able to outrun technology? Because you're getting hit from all angles. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And this is exactly what you're showing the entire organization and people outside the House of Prayer as well. Absolutely, Mr. What do you believe? Bine says it's a fake, unlawful General Assembly. Absolutely, it's fixed, it's fake, it's unlawful, it's rigged. They've hijacked it. But that's all fine. It's all well and good. Needing to know this information is the best thing, because now we have individuals that not only are they aware, but now you can do something about it. How can you fix a problem when you are not aware that there is a problem, right? So we should be all of us, we should be grateful that we now know that the trick has been played. We were taken. Now we know what to look for. And now we know what to do. So absolutely, it's fixed, it's fake. We now know it. Now comes the easy part. Reform and Governance Committee. Hello, family. Hello. Good to have you. Good seeing you. Golden Boy, hey, what's going on? Baby Blue, good evening. Bine, since the bishop likes CNN, MSNBC, CBS, Fox News, time to tell your story, Brother Lewis, of the corruption and violations you and your wife found. We have a few things in the mix in the oven, but um, well, there's a few things in the oven, and I have to um, I have to be leery of exactly how we approach that. And the purpose for that, if I told you, you all would easily understand. But of course, you also understand why I can't say everything online. And we're certainly not trying to let our left hand know what our right hand is doing. Excuse me 1 second. Let me adjust the lighting. Okay. So we don't want to give away what it is that we're doing. Um, at any rate, um, but Bine, you have something there. And again, we have some things that we're working on. So just understand um, the thing, everybody, you need to remember is we've been making videos for a while, and the videos primarily was for the purpose of allowing the members of the organization to know what's going on. The purpose of these videos were not to broadcast to outside, it was for the members of the organization. A perk is that it was broadcast to the members outside. Many members outside have called to reach us, and there's many things that uh, has been done in preparation for other things outside. That said, just because you see nothing, don't think that nothing's being done. Also, keep in mind that we have just started doing this, and we've only been at this portion where we're reaching outside since the middle to the end of January. So all of this is relatively new. The organization has been here 100 plus years. We've been doing this for a few months. So everybody, just sit back and continue to do what you can do on your end. And that involves people spreading the word, forwarding videos, getting others involved, and listening to the information, sharing your comments, asking questions, learning about the Constitution, the bylaws, the procedures of the Robert's Rules of Order. All those things is what we're going to be focusing on over the next few weeks. So the fact that we're doing what we're doing is why Mr. Cunningham is trying to take every precaution that he can. But again, we're not worried about that. We're not concerned with anything whatsoever that he does. Everything they do is illegal. We're not worried about illegal activity. The law is on our side, and we have our Father as well. So whatever they do, I'm bringing this information to you all so that you can hear it, listen to it, reflect on it, and then determine which direction to go from there. But none of this information should be upsetting at all whatsoever to any of you. It's natural to be upset. It's natural to get upset. Feel it, let it go so you can think straight. And if anything, reach out by email. And if you have other things that you want us to cover and go over, share those things. But also, primarily, put all focus on the General Assembly. That's the only place where something can be done. And I'm going to say this as well. So I don't forget. Um, okay. Whatever he does to control the General Assembly that's been set already by him and the General Assembly Secretary, we're going to do what we need to do, period. And please understand that I have not shared with you that there's something else that the body can also do outside of the General Assembly. So know that I'm not giving you everything because I don't want to reveal everything. But at the same token, I need you to all to understand to do everything you can do right now, today, when you can do it. Meaning, prepare, listen, learn, gain this knowledge so that when the General Assembly arrives, you will have your instructions at that time, what we can do collectively as a whole. The delegates will know at that time what they need to do collectively in the General Assembly. And with that in mind, there's a few other things, again, being worked on. And still, while we're waiting for the outside regulating agencies, they could still come in before the General Assembly. We don't know what they're going to do or when they're going to do it, but we have to prepare for anything and everything, just in case. So, thank you, and the lives of him and her. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining in the fellowship tonight. Please take a moment to subscribe, share, and thumbs up the video. Email address, we stand for right2024@gmail.com. Thank you again. The lives of him and her. Baby Blue, Brother Lewis, this is not going to be fixed in the 2026 General Assembly. No one is going to stand. I cannot stress this enough. We don't know what anybody is going to do ever. We are not the creator. We can't get bent out of shape because of what he's doing. He wants people to be afraid. He wants people to be scared. He wants people to be doubtful. He wants people to not believe in anything that can possibly happen. He wants people to not believe that anybody is going to stand up for him. He wants people to believe that no one is going to stand up for him. He wants people to believe that everybody is going to be too scared, too afraid to do anything. I'm telling you all, none of us knows at any given time what anybody is going to do. Period. Please, please, please understand when y'all hear these things, do not allow the things that you hear to upset you. When we get upset, when we doubt, all those things only show that we're not putting trust in him. And it also shows that we're afraid and angry at what he's doing. Forget what he's doing. I'm only sharing with you what he's doing so that you'll be aware of it. That is all. Don't let this stuff bother you at all. At all. Many of you are going to be surprised. So we cannot project that nobody's going to do anything. We cannot project that nobody's going to stand. We cannot project just because we see a few people who's scared, skittish, nervous, or whatever. The one thing that y'all don't see are the people who's waiting to speak up. The one thing that you don't see are the people who's still inside, who's a part of what's going on. So again, no matter what you hear, no matter what you all hear, don't let fear and doubt upset you. Don't let fear and doubt bother you. Don't let fear and doubt become an issue for any of you whatsoever. If something upsets you, something doubts you, causes you to doubt, breathe. Just breathe. That's all you have to do. And calm down and let it wash over. Okay? B-Nate, none of these indoctrinated members are going to stop or do anything to bring this lawless collectivization. Again, don't let this stuff bother any of you all. Baby Blue, the delegates that have been selected, nominated, and voted to go to General Assembly are not going to stand. No one's going to do this. I think it's now time to accept reality. This has to now go to the law of the land. Listen, everybody, I'm going to say it one more time. Stop with the negativity. Stop with the negativity. That's not of him. It's not. We're showing fear in doing that. And it's not a lot. And I know it's upsetting, but that's not him. Mr. Cunningham, the council, and everybody out there supporting him, they know that they're wrong. If I'm on these videos saying what I'm saying and doing what I'm doing, and all of my trust, all of it, is in standing for, doing, and speaking what's right while I trust in him. If he does, what did Job say? Yet though he slay me, I will still trust in him. If he doesn't do anything this month, if he doesn't move, fix this next month, if he doesn't fix it 3 months from now, if he doesn't fix it 4 months from now, if he doesn't fix it 5 months from now, if everybody who's in support of this cause stops, stand still and say, I'm done, Cunningham can keep doing what he's doing, the council can keep doing what they're doing, I'm finished, I'm fed up, I'm done with it all. I will still be out here as long as I have breath, as long as I have strength, as long as I have whatever my capabilities are, because my trust is not in people. I don't care about the delegates that's going to be in the General Assembly. I have to tell them what their responsibilities are. If you were in the General Assembly, would you all stand up? Would you all speak out? It's easy for everybody to stand outside and say what people are not going to do. That's easy. The question is, if every single one of you, every one of you was inside that General Assembly, would you stand up and speak out? Would you do it? Would you do it? The answer to that is we don't know, because the Father hardened Pharaoh's heart. What if he didn't harden Pharaoh's heart? Because the Father hardened his heart, that tells me that if he didn't harden his heart, Pharaoh would have let the people go. But the Father knew he had to harden his heart. He had to harden his heart, meaning that he hardened Pharaoh's heart so that he could reveal his own power and his own strength and his own might for all the world to hear about it, even into the future, even today, 2026. So Pharaoh was literally used by our Father so that our Father could show the impossible. A man, an 80-year-old man, walked from the wilderness into Egypt, the most powerful, predominant, strongest, most popular, abundant, prosperous, greatest military in the world at that time, at least in that area. They had all the wealth and the abundance that had come through them because of the famine while Joseph was the governor. An 80-year-old man walked into Egypt with a stick and his brother and did nothing but talk to Pharaoh. And after a while, that same 80-year-old man with a stick walked out of Egypt with all of Israel with him, and including many of the Egyptians with him. We can't allow the things that we're hearing to get us upset to where we start just throwing stuff out there because we're in our feelings. Okay? With all that in mind, My trust is not in people. Y'all's trust cannot be in people. If you trust in people, you've already lost. If y'all put your trust in people, if y'all's trust is in the delegates of the United House of Prayer for all people, then you've already lost. So, what I'm saying is don't trust the delegates. How about we learn to trust him? The reason why Israel was destroyed was a lack of knowledge, and the knowledge that they did not possess is what taught them how to put their trust in him. All he wanted was for Israel to trust him. That's all he wanted. Here's one more thing. Mr. Cunningham should be saying the things that I say. Mr. Cunningham should be the one calling for unity throughout the organization. Mr. Cunningham should be telling the people to not worry about people, to not worry about putting your trust in people, to literally, and I mean it, put your trust in him. Mr. Cunningham says things like that from time to time, but he doesn't mean it because he knows he's not speaking for him. Mr. Cunningham working for Satan. Yes. Look at the fruit on the tree. He's doing nothing that the Messiah talked about. He's doing nothing that the Messiah talked about. This is a servant of Satan, not of our Heavenly Father. I'm not worried about him at all or the tactics that he pulls out the sky. Moses wasn't worried about Pharaoh. No matter what they put on the movie, Moses was not worried about Pharaoh. Moses knew who he walked with. Moses knew who he talked with. Moses knew who had his back. I'm not worried about the people. But I'm just reminding you all, don't get caught up in this stuff. I can either tell y'all what's going on, or I can not tell you. I can just keep it to myself. But I'm telling you so that you know what's going on. And when you know what's going on, you will know where we stand. So don't, again, allow these videos to upset you. Even if some of you see what's going on in the organization, don't let that upset you. Mr. Cunningham, no, Mr. Taylor, in Salisbury, North Carolina, when he was there, he got up, told the people, say, so what? So what? Say, so what? So what? People out here doing this, that, and the other. So what? So what? People lying about you behind your back. People lie about you to your face. So what? So what? He's hyping the people up for Mr. Cunningham by being a cheerleader, which is what they are. They're male cheerleaders, to get the people to rally behind Mr. Cunningham. Do I care about Mr. Taylor saying, so what? Do I care about him saying I'm a clown sitting on a couch? I don't care about that. Mr. Taylor have shown his own immaturity. This is a man who's supposed to be a pastor of the #1 house of prayer in the entire organization. And the people around DC, people around the organization has literally called him an embarrassment. The same way that Mr. Cunningham has been called by the members an embarrassment. I don't worry about them. I'm not doing what I'm doing to insult. I'm not doing what I'm doing to attack. I'm doing what I'm doing to make people aware of the fact that we have people in positions in our organization that we need to bring forward and hold them accountable for violating the laws of the land as well as our organization. period. And I'm going to continue to do so until they're held accountable. That's what faithful, dedicated, loyal members do in an organization. I'm not faithful, dedicated, and loyal to the man sitting in the chair. I'm faithful, I'm dedicated, and I'm loyal to the law. The Messiah was telling the men, you need to be faithful, dedicated, and loyal to his word. You need to be faithful and dedicated and loyal to what's right, not to some man who's doing everything that goes against him and his word. So, with that in mind, that we have individuals that don't like what Mr. Taylor said. Many people don't like what Mr. Cunningham said. There's people online doing things now to show their displeasure towards Mr. Taylor and Mr. Cunningham and even others. People talking about Mr. Delaney, how he used to be standing up for what's right, teaching the Bible. People have left him left and right because they saw that he compromised. He bent the knee to kiss the ring on Mr. Cunningham. And now he's passing out on the floor as a part of the skit in front of people to make it look like Mr. Cunningham has some power. How is it that he healed you from passing out? And Mr. Murray gets up to act as if he's assisting. They got people who's there coming up like they're paramedics on the scene. How is it that he did that to you? He brought you back after you passed out on the floor. But all these other people who travel around the organization, when they calling on him because they're having a real issue, a real seizure, a real stroke, a real heat stroke, a real heart attack, a real anxiety attack, shortness of breath, whatever the case may be, he can do nothing for them. Why is it that at times he's called guards to call 911 for an ambulance for people sitting right there? How is this possible when those apostles, so-called fake, phony apostles, lined up all across that front of the house of prayer, telling you to hold your hands up and look at him because I ain't got nothing for you. Obviously, I ain't got nothing for you because I got to look at him too. And I got to write testimonies and put them in magazines and tell everybody else that I believe the man is real because he healed me one day. That's not what apostles did in the scripture. An apostle? Do y'all see Thaddeus and Matthew and Mark? Do y'all see Thomas and Simon, John and James? Do y'all see these men and Bartholomew going out preaching and teaching about Peter? I know Peter's real, because Peter one day, he laid a hand on me. He laid his hand on me. Those disciples didn't go out. What? People, we have to put our trust in our Father above. Mr. Cunningham has done so many things to anger our Father above, as well as to make him sad. All that said, we cannot be caught up or bothered whatsoever about what Mr. Cunningham does and the general counsel. They're going to make rules. They're going to keep doing it because Satan's going to continue being Satan. Why is he going to stop being Satan? Why is he going to stop using the people that he used? If they keep letting him, he's going to keep using them. Okay, but I don't worry about him. My concern is on him. So what is the next plan of action? We have many things that we can do. But the thing is, what I'm telling the members to do is, members, you do what you can to all learn the law. Learn what the law says. Learn the Robert's Rules of Order. And don't just learn it for the house of prayer. Learn it so that you will understand law in general, period and point blank, because learning the law is going to benefit you and everybody else that you know. My desire to learn the law is not just to use in the house of prayer. I've used law to benefit hundreds, hundreds of people outside the house of prayer, if not over 1,000. I don't say that to gloat. I'm saying that because I'm thankful that he blessed me with the ability to help people. And to have the ability to help people itself is what we should be doing, period. My intent to do what's right in the house of prayer and stand for the law in the house of prayer has become something that stemmed from what I did outside the house of prayer. I don't want any of you to think that I'm telling y'all need to do this for the house of prayer only. No, do this for yourselves everywhere. If you get pulled over, what are you going to tell them? What can you do? Um, the point of the matter is that we we have to, again, just make sure we're doing what we can do, whatever we can do. And that's what all of us should be doing, whatever we can do. Um, Baby Blue, the people in the General Assembly are not or have not watched these videos. And even if they have, they do not have that kind of courage. Okay, now I'm not going to say what I said before because obviously these were already typed up. Um, yes, members, keep your money in your pockets, still go to service, but keep your coins to yourself. Um, right? Do what's necessary to be there to attend the General Assembly. Okay, and this is what Reforming Governance Committee is saying. Do what's necessary to be a part of the General Assembly. Baby Blue, no one's going to tell or make a motion to have Addie removed from the General Assembly. Even if there is such a person to make that motion, there has to be someone to second the motion. Thirdly, you need the 2/3 votes for that motion to be passed. No one is going to do it, Brother Lewis. Bine, I'm sorry, but these members see Addy and not CEO, nor do they understand these laws. Now it's time to level up. Um, Again, let me tell you all, listen, let me scroll back down. One second. Okay, here we are. Um, Thirdly, you need the 2/3 votes for that motion to be passed. No one's going to do it. Bine, I'm sorry, but these members are Daddy and CEO. Okay, I read that too. Um, okay, I don't know how much of that was written before I said what I said earlier, but I'll say it again. Members, when y'all get upset, when y'all see what's going on, just any display of anger, any display of doubt, just don't. it's 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 not putting out anything again that shows that we're leaning on our Father. Um, and the fact of the matter is, Mr. Cunningham and these councilmen, they want you to get upset. I can't say that enough. They want you to get upset. They want you to be afraid. They want you to be intimidated. And here's the thing, though. Um, no matter how many people are scared, no matter how many people are intimidated, I'll go back to Gideon. Gideon had 10,000 men. The Creator told Gideon, I want you to take them because there's some of them that has fear in their heart. Take them down to the brook, let them drink. Those who take water up with their hand, separate them, set them on one side. Those who bow their heads down and lap like a dog, take them and separate, put them on another side. Gideon had 300 men left. And Gideon was going to go out to confront thousands, thousands, thousands upon thousands with 300 men. Gideon had to put his trust in the Father. That's it. You will not go wrong putting our trust in the Father. And then here's another thing that I also said a while back. Our members are not, the members of the house of prayer are not, the members of the house of prayer are not without blame. We, as members of the house of prayer, yeah, we were indoctrinated. But again, the scripture says that the people were destroyed for lack of knowledge. That destruction came because of themselves. It was them. The Father did everything he was supposed to do. He blessed them. He gave them everything that he said. He kept his word. He kept his promises. But the people kept reneging. The people kept turning their back. The people kept taking their eye off of him. The people kept forgetting about him. The people kept chasing what their eyes saw. And the people kept doing wrong. The members of the house of prayer are not without blame. For over 100 years, we have put trust in man and devoted everything to men. And the Father already said that he's jealous, but we did it anyway. We did it having Bibles. We did it believing in these people, these men, all of this time. We are not without blame. Even Jeremiah, when he spoke to the Father, he knew, Ezekiel knew that the people are not without blame. The people were messing up. So here we are at this point now, and we're thankful because he's opened up eyes. He's opened up eyes, and people are now seeing, and they're now seeing, and they're now seeing. Is he going to just take us out of this? Boom, fix everything. Boom, and you have it? No. This time, in my opinion, is being given so that people will make a choice. Are they going to continue serving man? Or are they going to literally turn around and give their hearts to him? Some people getting upset at what the man is doing and then forget you, Father, forget you, Messiah. I'm mad. You didn't save me. You didn't help me. You didn't give me what I want. And there's a lot of people like that. People have left the house of prayer and complete, not just house of prayer, Mormons, Church of God in Christ, Seventh-day Adventists, Presbyterian, Methodist, Catholic, Jehovah's Witness, Islam, Buddhists. People have gotten upset with the Father after the things that they themselves were involved in did not work out the way they wanted it. They got upset with the Father and they threw in the towel on him. So, members, we're not without blame. He's not going to just turn around and do when we have fault of our own. We gave our hearts to these men. We gave our hearts to them. We gave them our undivided attention. We gave them our mind. We gave them our strength. We gave them our health. We gave them our money. We gave them all the things that he gave to us. We didn't give it back to him. We gave it to man. And he was jealous because we took from him the same way Mr. Cunningham has taken from us. We took, and gave to men, people other than him. The same way Mr. Cunningham is treating the members of the organization is how we treated him. We're not without blame. I own the fact that we were not serving him the way he wants us to serve him. We, myself included, was serving him the way we thought we were supposed to serve him based on what lying, manipulative men told us to do. We are at fault. We're in this situation not because he abandoned us. We're in the situation that we're in because just like all these other denominations and all these other religious institutions, people have abandoned him. And so we're in this situation. So we cannot get upset. We cannot get angry now because, well, he's not moving fast enough. No, you just wait. I'm waiting. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing. All I can do is encourage other people to do the same thing. So forget what they do. Getting mad at it? No, not at all. Not at all. Just trust him and pay no attention to the stuff that they do. When y'all hear me talk about it, just understand this because they're the ones getting upset and intimidated. They're the ones that's afraid. You don't have no reason to be afraid. The lies of him and her. Enough is enough. This is blatant corruption, and we can't stay silent. It's time to wake up, rise up, and take our power back. Together, we are an unstoppable force for change. The time is now. And that's 100% absolutely correct. The people, just like Israel, needed to return to the Creator. But the people in Israel kept chasing others. And this is what we're faced with, a choice. Are we going to do what we're supposed to do? Or are we going to continue doing what we've been doing? Very much the lives of him and her. Thank you. Reform Governance Committee agreed we must level up. Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't, don't let this stuff bother us. Baby Blue, if someone make a motion to just have the council removed from the General Assembly, immediately that General Assembly is going to be cut off and canceled, and the people will be excluded out. Again, I'm going to just repeat what I said earlier. No, first of all, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. People, council can't do whatever they want. It's as simple as that. Council cannot do whatever they want. And the council knows what most of our members seem to not know is that there is a law beyond the house of prayer. There's laws outside the doors of the house of prayer. Council can't just arbitrarily make people do stuff, put their hands on people, put people out there. We seem to forget that we live in these United States. We're not in a third world country where there's a dictator and whatever people say, you have to do it or else you're going to be bludgeoned, right? None of those things are simply not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Again, we can't let our emotions get the best of us. So no, believe me, that's not going to happen. Bine, I hope there are members watching and learning these laws go to the General Assembly. Otherwise, it's time to make some real noise and bring some real public attention to this matter. But again, I'm going to say this again. The public attention is not what's needed. Public attention is not what is needed. The last thing we want is public attention. That's the last thing we want. But if the people inside the house of prayer are too afraid to stand up and do anything, then outside regulating agencies, that's what they're there for. Period. We, again, have been conditioned over the years to think that the General Assembly is the big bad wolf and there's nothing going to happen. because they're still there, right? Um, Nothing's going to happen to Mr. Cunningham. Nothing. The problem is, again, by saying that, you don't realize all of the members around the organization, including me. By saying things like that, you don't realize that we end up excluding any possibility of the Father. Like the Creator, he just nothing. I mean, he's not going to do anything. He can't do anything about this. This is so big. This is so downright upside down. It's such a horrible situation. There's nothing that the Father, the Creator, can do about this at all. There's nothing he can do to fix this. We have no choice but to go outside. There's nothing at all that he's going to do within here to fix any of this. Again, I can't stress it enough. None of us knows what's going to happen. None of us. Unless the Father reveal it to us. We don't know at any given time. So I encourage everybody to continue watching, to continue learning, and to continue preparing yourselves. That is what the Israelites were supposed to do. Learn, watch, prepare. In that order. That's what the disciples learn. After you learn, watch. While you're watching, prepare. That's what we're supposed to be doing. So again, don't let that bother you. Outside is the last thing that we want. Baby Blue, you know that I'm 100% supportive of what you have done, the work that you have done. There will be no excuse for people when they do find out the truth that you didn't give this. Right. Absolutely. Yes. And I know that there's people 100% in support of what we're doing. But I am a realist. I know that there's people who supporting what we're doing who are still scared. I know there's people who is in support of what we're doing who are still intimidated. There's people who tell me all the time, Lewis, listen, I'm behind you, man, but I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy who can just, do what you do and stand up and say this and say that and go in there and look men in the eyes and this, that, and the other. Now, this is old men, old women, a handful of younger people. But there's several people who I'm trying to hold back. They're gung ho. They can't wait. But listen, just hold it, calm down. I know, calm down. Just stand still. And whenever it's time, then go forward. My point is, the people on the channel, you cannot see on this channel the activities that's going on in the organization. And because you can't see the activities that's going on in the organization, it's easy to get lost in our emotions and start speaking out of a place of fear and intimidation. It's easy to do that. I'm challenging you to not do that. I'm challenging you to, when those moments come up, to push past those feelings and rely on what you've read in the Word and see what happens. If, when things come up, we learn to exercise our belief and trust in Him, life will completely turn upside down. Upside down. So let's go further. Please take this to the media and tell your story. Please take this to the media. They're never going to stop unless God. Again, we We have to fix this from within. And people have been reached out to who are reviewing. I can keep saying, when they make their determinations to come, if that's the case, then they will come in. But I'm trying to get everybody to understand that the people who are in here, they need to stand up. And the time to stand up is in that General Assembly. Um, Once that happens, other things will happen. But that's what has to happen. And again, I can't nor will I say everything on this channel. And I don't tell anybody everything that I know. I'm not telling everybody everything that we're doing. I'm not telling everybody everything that we're preparing. I tell you all enough to allow you to see what it is that Mr. Cunningham is doing. And while I'm telling you all those things, I'm also doing what I'm doing. But my hope is that this entire organization, the thousands and thousands of people in this organization, that you don't treat me the way we have treated these leaders. My hope is in what Lewis is doing. My hope is in what I'm not telling you to hope in me. I don't want the people to hope in me. And that's what lie Mr. Cunningham's been telling everybody. Somebody out here trying to become the bishop. No, I didn't want to be the bishop. I said I would be the bishop. And I said I would in order to get rid of men like you. And this entire general council would be gone. And everything in this organization would be cleaned up. And it would not be anything that it is today. And yes, I said I'd get rid of all these pictures. Yes, I said I'd get rid of that seat. I said many things I'd get rid of. So would I be? Yeah, if that came up, absolutely. So that I can clean everything up from the top down and get rid of every single thing in here that has been a complete mockery against our Father in heaven. I would be everything to get the people to stop believing in a man who has no power whatsoever. Period, point blank, end of story. I told the congregation in Mooresville, when and if I'm elected to go to the General Assembly, I'm telling y'all, I'm going to speak up against what the bishop has done and what the General Assembly secretary has done. I don't hide what I'm going to do. I don't need to. And if it's not his will, then nothing's going to happen. If it is his will, then it will happen. I don't need to valley or vie or run for or try to become anything. I've had several opportunities to be a multimillionaire that I walked away from. Several opportunities. Several. I'm not trying to chase money like you obviously are, and you're doing it by begging poor people for money. And you're doing the same thing that a wealthy woman has done all of her life. Miss Dolores Madison, living off the backs of poor people throughout this country that you are calling members of the house of prayer, your children. And this is why I refer to the bishops in here as the biggest deadbeat dads in the world. In the history of deadbeat dads, you've got them all beat because you do absolutely nothing for people that you call your child. My point is, when it comes to the members can stand up. The members have just been too intimidated, too scared. And quite frankly, it's still fear that moves members to still do those things today. It's nothing but fear. We don't need outside to fix what's inside. We need the members inside to see through the lies of those people inside. That's what needs to happen. And so we're in a unique situation because Some of the people inside don't want to be inside. Some of the people outside want to be back inside. I'm telling people, whether you're inside or outside, the way to fix this is to do it from inside that General Assembly. And of course, Mr. Cunningham is going to cheat. Of course, the council is going to cheat. They're not going to give up the power that they've stolen from the people. But the people don't need to be afraid of that. The people don't need to be intimidated of these men. These are not even men. These are wannabes who's scared to death because they've stolen from this entire organization, generation after generation after generation. So if all the people understood the things that I'm saying and the purpose behind these videos, I'm not saying the things I'm saying in these videos to make you all upset. I'm saying it to encourage you, to motivate you. Now, if I talk the way I would like to talk, well, then other things might happen, but there's a way to go about everything. So I keep in mind also that I'm talking to a general audience. So just like the Messiah told the disciples, a sower went forth to sow. He took seeds and he threw it out there and let the seeds fall where they may. And he left it up to the Father where the seeds are going to land and which seeds are going to sprout and which seeds are going to grow. I'm not chasing anything to try to make something happen, is the point that I'm saying. The point that I'm making is we wait on him. It can be tomorrow that we hear from outside. It can be never that we hear from outside. It's possible it can be 2, 3, 4 weeks from now that we hear from outside. What I do know is the things that need to be done to bring outside in has been done. So I don't say those things to discourage anybody. I don't say those things to get people to think that outside is going to come kicking the doors in like Superman. We don't need a Superman. We've had enough Supermen. The ones sitting up there on that platform lying to you, no. We just need people who's going to stand up, tell the truth, be honest, and do us right while walking in the law. That's all. You don't need a cape. You don't need to be super. We don't need the people to be afraid. But that's what they want. So with that in mind, again, we don't know what people's going to do. We don't know what people's going to do. So I keep encouraging everybody to forget what they do. You get upset, don't. Put your trust in him. And if you happen to be a part of that army that Gideon had, that the father separated because they had fear in their heart, okay, praise the Lord. Then, well, y'all wait over here. We'll go take care of the business at hand. There's plenty of people in the organization who's ready, willing, and able. They're waiting on the green light. And for everybody else who's scared, y'all be afraid, be scared, but wait back there. Wait back there. The father told Gideon to separate them so that they wouldn't be in communication with each other, because he did not want him to use them to unknowingly put fear in other people's hearts or doubt. He's at work. While he's at work, we have to know that he's at work. And this situation is bigger than all of us, every last one of us. This situation is spiritual. It's spiritual. The news, they will do things. However, the news is not going to fix this. The news is not going to come in and fix this. The way the media works is you go out to the public. The media is a voice to the public, to the people. And by making the people aware of corruption within and all that, the news doesn't fix it. What that does is it puts pressure on the authorities to go in and do something about this situation. That's all the news does. It just puts pressure on the authorities, and the authorities are sitting there watching, and this news being reported all over the place, and millions of people are watching it, and now millions of people holding signs and saying, "We want Cunningham gone. We want Cunningham gone. We want," and the authorities will sit there and watch this all day, every day. We've had people do protests and marching in the streets, getting beat down. It didn't move anything. My point is, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. We have to put our trust in Him. I can't say it any plainer. With that in mind, Reform Governance Committee says agreed. We're looking for more members to protest with us and join our cause, right? If the media puts out the word, then people outside might join in and protest. But what about people inside? How many people inside, as members of the organization or interested parties of the organization, how many members inside are ready to stand up so people can see you and protest? How many people are ready to say, "I'm against what's going on in here"? Because we don't need pressure on the authorities. We need pressure on Cunningham. And as long as Cunningham can send out a word and say, "I want everybody around the organization at 10 o'clock to be at the house of prayers around the organization," it doesn't matter if he gets 10 people at every house. For him, that's a success. When he travels, if there's 500 people, 6, 7, 800 people in that building where he is, for him, that's a success. What he sees is people still doing what I want. But what if the people sat down and still remained in the house of prayer? What if they said, "No, we're not tolerating this anymore"? There'd be a difference. Now, the reality is, again, I haven't said everything that the people can do yet. But even when it comes to the laws, there's people who have not yet read up on the laws. If I ask a question right now, I don't know if anybody would be able to answer it. Is there anything that we can do in the next 4 weeks to end all of this? 4 weeks. Anybody? Is there something that the members of the organization can do within the next 4 weeks to bring all of this to an end? Anybody? I'm going to let that question hang out there. Reformers, committee agree. We're looking for more members to protest with us and join our cause. Grateful for it all. Baby Blue, I agree. Please take this media now and tell your story. Okay. Grateful for it all, agrees. Bine says Memorial Weekend is a Jim Jones event. Golden Boy says this is crazy. NNC at BNA, talking about Jim Jones, Miss Maria Lewis, we know Mr. Forney would likely never do that without instruction, right? To go around and take the paperwork from the members. He would never, unless he was told to do that. Um, BNA, Mr. Murray must be a family member. Why not his wife is my question. Things to make you go, NB and NC, they are not family, according to Shay's laughing. B. Mevdeman, greetings, everyone. The situation with Mr. Murray and Mr. Cunningham is quite unique. There's individuals that have confirmed that they're not family. Um, and there's individuals that we're waiting for that suggested and made remarks that there's something going on. But there's people throughout the organization who know a lot of this is going on throughout the organization. Um, I will say, Mr. Cunningham, that there's many members that's extremely, extremely, extremely angry when they found out about the paperwork that was put in Mr. Murray's name and the fact that he's actually listed on the paperwork as a beneficial owner along with you. There's people who have suggested many things about y'all's friendship and things that they have seen. And there's some individuals, plural, about three, either three or four, that has a lot more to say. However, again, this is not anything that's uncommon around the entire general council. There's many things that many people have said. We have many things on record. We have things on record pertaining to Miss Madison. We have things on record pertaining to others on the staff. And this is potentially why there's such a close-knit group doing anything and everything they can to protect one another. That's what this boils down to. However, it's not just that. There's things that involve the children around the organization for decades, for decades, for decades. And there's things that there's evidence to support as well. But individuals want things to come out officially. And because things have not come out officially yet, they're still waiting. But they're waiting quietly. They're not bent out of shape. They're not angry. They're not coming forward. They're not going to go out into the media. They're not going to put their name. And primarily, I said, no, I don't want any of you to go through any of that. Now, I'm going to say this. This is not my first time at a rodeo. I've been a part of doing things like I'm doing right here. 3 different companies. 3 different companies. The first time, I didn't take it that far, but I was an advocate for a foreign group of individuals that was working in a company that I was working with, and people in management was taking advantage of them left and right. Started fighting for them. Management came at me. I continued fighting for them, and their conditions worsened. Management kept coming after me, and their conditions worsened until they didn't. And management made it hard for me to stick around. And I did not stay to fight it out. I did things from a distance. The second time I had a situation like that, I did not throw in the towel. I stayed. And thanks be to our Father, stuck it out, and he took care of it. A multi-million dollar company with a lot of authority, a lot of power, and a lot of political influence. But yet, we won in a mighty way, a big way, and set records. We set state records, we set national records. And we set, in that case, two world records. Um, my point is, people, he's it. He's everything. He's everything. And I don't care what your affiliations are. I don't care who you are. He's everything. So when you realize that you're up against something um, like a Gideon or a David, then you'd have to prepare. Mr. Cunningham had no idea. This general counsel had no idea. And the members have no idea because the members have never seen anything like this. But now that you're seeing it, the question is, are you going to take a stand with right? Are you going to take a stand with wrong? Or are you going to just stand in the middle and sit back and not choose anything at all? Because quite frankly, not choosing is also making a choice. So at the end of the day, we're seeing something like never before. And all around the organization, left and right, you're seeing the crowd sizes shrink, smaller, 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 smaller. And I know that there's people all around the organization who's waiting for the General Assembly. So some people scared, some people are excited, some people are intimidated, some people ready to just jump. So when I say something, I'm not talking about everyone. I don't put everybody in a box because we're talking about thousands of people. One statement does not fit thousands of people. One statement might only be talking about 20 people out of 10,000 people. So we just have to be realistic enough to know that we're talking about and we're dealing with all kinds of people who think all kinds of things, who are doing things for their own reasons, all kinds of reasons. There's not just one cookie cutter member of the organization and everybody else is just like them. It's just not true at all. So the best that you can do, the best that I can do, the best that we can do is understand that every individual in here, for their own reasons, their own likenesses or their own biases, are doing what they're doing, period and point blank. But at the end of the day, it all depends on his will. And that's where my comfort lies. My confidence is in him. Greetings, everyone. Be Mevdaman. Greetings. Jesus is it. Says hello, everyone. Maybe blue, but we that are your viewers on the channel at this present time, we're not the ones going to the General Assembly. The people that are going to the General Assembly are the indoctrinated members. We don't know who is going to the General Assembly. And it's not good for us to speculate or to assume. Everybody inside the organization is no longer indoctrinated. Those people who've been leaving, people have been leaving the house of prayer for the last 50 years. 50 years. We've had pastors to leave because they're no longer indoctrinated. We've had pastors who left to start their own congregation because they were trying to tell the bishop that this is not right. There's been people who left the house of prayer quietly. Some people left loudly. We've had young men write letters that went throughout the entire organization. People have been leaving left and right who are not indoctrinated. And many of those people stayed for a very long time before they decided to leave. And while people are still active in the house of prayer, many of them don't believe in the doctrine of the house of prayer. Many of them who are active don't believe in the bishops. I know several people right now that I'm very close to who are attending services because they like certain things. They don't like what Cunningham is doing, Mr. Cunningham. They don't like what the council's doing. They disagree with all this stuff. Listen, it's just not true that everybody going to the General Assembly are indoctrinated. That's not the case at all, at all. So don't believe that. Don't think that. Um, don't fall for it, family. Lies, lies, and more lies. Right. The things that Mr. Cunningham is doing, the things that the council's doing, it's just lies. I can't put it any more plain than that. It's all lies. Reform and Governance Committee, UHOP leaders need to be held accountable for what they are doing to us. Time to stand for right. I mean, there it is right there. The leaders need to be held accountable. The leaders need to be held accountable. The leaders need to be held accountable. That's what the members need to be saying. The leaders need to be held accountable. The members who are not going to the General Assembly, they need to stand up and yell it. They need to shout it from the rafters, from the rooftops. The leaders need to be held accountable. The leaders need to be held accountable. What if, even if the members are not inside the General Assembly, what if there's 4,000 members outside of 6 and M Street on the sidewalk with signs saying, hold them accountable for their wrong? What if thousands of members from the House of Prayer that's sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's sick and tired of being scared, that's sick and tired of being intimidated, that gets sick and tired of the bullying tactics coming from the pastors and the chairmans, the members not coming because they like what's going on? What if these members showed up? If they're scared to show their faces, what if they wore a mask with a wig on and holding a sign? Right? There's a movie, V for Vendetta. All these people wore a plastic mask so that nobody could see who they are. And it showed that governing body. You had hundreds of thousands of people that came out from all over the city, and they told them to wear a mask. When you stand outside, wear a mask. And they stood there in solidarity to let it be known this is how much support you have against what's going on. It would make a statement. Now, am I saying for the members to do that? No, I'm not telling the members to do anything other than to comply with the law of the land, to comply with the laws of the organization. I'm not going to be perceived as someone who's trying to stir up anybody. No. Mm-mm. I'm telling everybody, be peaceful, sit still, sit quietly, wait, watch, and see what happens. Mr. Cunningham and the general counsel is the one making the noise. This is why Mr. Taylor said clown. That's why they're telling people that I stole money when I was a pastor of San Antonio. They're telling people that I couldn't leave the women alone. They're telling people I was doing all kinds. But nobody will say it out loud. Nobody will confront me. The law says let the accuser face the accused. No one ever came forward to accuse me. No one. Not even Mr. Cunningham. But I can look him dead in his eyes along with all those other councilmen and accuse every single one of them. And when you have people standing up like this and you have other people standing behind them saying, no, 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 leave them alone. I like them. Something's wrong. Something's terribly, terribly wrong. And what's gone wrong is the people have forgotten to keep their eyes on him. And the people forgot because of things like Mr. McCullough saying, if he put a dog on the mountain and that dog barked, you better listen to him. What kind of nonsense is that? What kind of nonsense? If a dog is sitting up there, that's worse than Raggedy Ann. At least Raggedy Ann don't have no ability to talk. Don't have no ability. That doll baby that Miss Cunningham was bringing, that ugly Raggedy Ann doll. A dog is worse. But he said, if a dog is up there and a dog bark, you better listen. That's the type of mental trickery that they're putting inside the members. It's, it's beyond time for all this to be over. Um, Reforming governance. Yes, time to stand for what's right. Absolutely. Uh, Bine, this sounds like a repeat of last year. Uh, well, let me put it like this. I'm going to keep doing, if it takes me the longest time, I don't care. I don't care. But we need people to help if they're going to help, to jump in if they're going to jump in, to do if they're going to do. If they're not going to help, if they're not going to do, if they're not going to jump in, then don't do those things, but sit back and wait quietly. Sit back and quietly wait. If there's nothing at all that people can offer to assist and help for this cause, then sit back and pray. If you don't do anything else, pray, pray, fast, pray, fast, pray, fast. If nothing else can be done, pray and fast. It's easy for people to sit back and to say things when things are not going the way that they want. But remember, there's people out here working hard, giving hours and hours and hours, day after day after day, week after week after week, month after month after month. And yeah, we're another year later, but why? When I say that there's something that we could do together where we would not have to be another year out, but the people are not coming forward. The people are not coming out. The people are not standing up. Who's at fault? There's a group of people doing and loudly speaking, loudly standing out, showing their faces. I'm out here. No shame. I don't care what my family thinks. I don't care what my friends think. I don't give two shakes what anybody thinks about me. I'm doing this for him. And if we didn't the Messiah say, if you love your family more than me, you're not worthy of me. If you love anybody worthy more than me, you are not worthy of me. You're not worthy of being my disciple. This is what he's talking about. But we have people, for all of their reasons, justifying why they won't or why they can't. And if that's the case, then pray and fast. That will be more help than people standing out in the front, unless they're praying and fasting too. Pray and fast. Those prayers going up, fasting on behalf of what it is that we're doing, that is a huge help for this cause. And we still don't know what he's going to do. But the law of the land says that even without prayer, even without fasting, that you can walk in there. Listen, there's atheists all day, every day that will walk into a governmental building and make a complaint and stand up. They don't pray, they ain't fasting, they don't care about no higher power whatsoever. They don't even believe in it, but they'll go in there to the office and they will get things done. You know why? Because they know how the law works and they know how to use the law. Our people don't know how the law works. They don't know how to use the law. And many people might even be saying that the members of the house of prayer act like they don't even care to know. I refuse to believe that. And there's a lot of people that I've talked to with tears in their eyes who are breaking down on the phone that I know for a fact they do care. And some of them say, I don't mean to be scared. I don't want to be scared. I would love to be as bold. I would love to speak out like you. I would love, wait, stop. You don't need to be bold like me. You don't need to be speaking out like me. Each of us have our different role. If you can do nothing else, just pray to him. Don't go to the house of prayer and pray. Don't go bowing down in front of no platform. Don't go prostrating yourself in front of some man's pictures up on a wall. Just pray. For those who still are going to the house of prayer, those who are supporting what we're doing, they're there because they know that this is how we fix it. This is how you get men stop lying on our Father above and stop lying on his son just so they can get their hands on some money or more money because their hands are filthy with dirty money. But yeah, it is what it is. I can't put it any more direct. We are a year later, but again, are we here? Is it because of the people? Is it because of our Father? He can step in anytime he wants, but all through the scripture, he let time go by because the people still needed work on their heart. And what I'm saying is we all of us need to be making sure that we're right with him. Every one of us need to be making sure that we are right with him. Whether this house of prayer gets cleaned up or not, we need to be making sure that we're right with him. If the Father sends the Son tomorrow, if tomorrow time is called, then where would the house of prayer stand? None of it matters. But we need to be getting right with him. Top of the world. As Cunningham and his minions know that they're wrong, and so do the members. Some of the members might be afraid to fix it, and that's why we ask the Almighty to fix it, right? And this is 100% true. But this is also why I keep reminding the people that when Moses went down to Egypt, he went down with a stick and his brother. When he came out of Egypt, he came out with all of Israel. Now, when he got out to the wilderness, the Israelites were taught to follow Moses. Moses had his eyes on the Father. As they got to Sinai, now what happened? The Father gave Moses some rules. The Father gave Moses some laws. The Father gave Moses some regulations. And Moses told the people, here. And the people said, I'm good. I don't want to read. I don't want to learn. We're good. But I tell you what, we're going to keep waiting on him to fix it because he said he's going to give us the promised land, the land flowing with milk and honey. And he's going to take care of it. So the people that kept on saying, he's going to take care of it. He's going to take care of it. He's going to take care of it. He's going to fix it. He's going to fix it. He's going to fix it. While they continued doing what they wanted to and not what he wanted them to do. Well, they would end up circling the wilderness for 40 years while he killed them off. Because he got tired of them, us, and not giving ourselves to him. This is all he's waiting on. Because he's not the creator. He's not the Almighty. He's not the one, the only of the house of prayer. He's the creator of all. House of prayer, Catholic, Mormon, Presbyterian, Methodist, Islam, atheist, witch, warlock, sorcerer, Buddhist, It does not matter who you are, where you are, what you believe, what generation you're in. He's the creator of us all. He's not just looking out for the house of prayer. There's many organizations that are indoctrinated with false doctrines. These videos are for anybody around the world watching. This isn't just about the house of prayer. When it comes to our organization, yes, I'm talking to our members. But this goes out to the people around the world to put your trust in Him. There's a portion of these videos that's about governance. There's a portion of these videos that's about law. There's a portion of these videos that's about belief. And that's where the gospel's found. To share the good news with anybody who can pull up this channel on the entire planet while we direct their attention above. No matter who you are, no matter where you are. The last time we checked, people in 15 different countries are watching this channel. And people are hearing. My point is, it's not just house of prayer. So we can't be looking at just house of prayer. I'm looking at house of prayer, but also looking at these other places. Because all of us have been lied to by men who are false leaders all around the world. Just like Mr. Cunningham, there's other institutions all over the place. And this is why you see a lot of them falling and a lot of them being exposed. There's a lot of praying, but at the same token, in the scripture, there became a time for the people to fix what the people messed up. Because he didn't mess this up. We messed this up. We built the mess. We sustained a mess. We followed a mess. And we've been stuck in a mess while trusting in a mess, having faith in a mess, putting our hopes in a mess. Everything we've done unknowingly has been behind these lying men while we thinking that we're pleasing him. We're pleasing him by pleasing them. That's the biggest lie in here. Biggest lie in here. Straight from the gates of hell. To please Mr. Cunningham is to please the Father above. That is a lie straight from the pits of hell. The gates, the pits, the center, the epicenter. It is a lie. To please Mr. Cunningham is to please the Father. Anyway, absolutely. Even though we're praying, what I'm also saying is we have to know or think about what we're praying for. Yakanan, the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Absolutely. The tongue has the power of life and death. We can speak things positively, which is where Philippians 4 and 6 come. Be careful for nothing, but in all things make our requests known. And while we're at it, to remember to think on what things soever are pure, what things soever are lovely, what things soever are of good report, what the things soever is kind and are true. Think on these things, not anything else. Think on those things and remind ourselves that our Father's got it. He's got it. And whatever he's willing to do with it, that's what he'll do. But he's got it. The beauty in all of this is we're no longer following men. While other people are waking up, we're no longer following men, following him. But for us to expose corruption within an organization that we were a part of, that's exactly what the Messiah himself did. He exposed those men for who they are, and they couldn't stand it. Um, but thank you. Uh, Top of the World says people are afraid of being looked down on by their families and friends and just don't want to rock the boat. That's 100% true. But that's why I'm saying what I said. And I'm not guilting anyone. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm simply saying that these are the things that the Messiah told the disciples about. He's telling them, sit down and add up the cost of being my disciple, because it boils down to the question of, am I going to do what you want, or am I going to do what I or other people want me to do? That's what it boils down to. Um, and everybody's not cut out for that. And it's not a pleasant trip. It's not filled with uh, ice cream cones and candy bar wishes. Mm-mm. He said you would be persecuted, many different fiery trials and tribulations. And we don't know what they are. And sometimes it comes through family, sometimes it comes through friends. But the thing is, there's many people losing family over stuff that has nothing to do with him. Some people losing family and relationships because they might be fans of a different football team. And now there's a wedge. Some people because you might have difference of opinions with politics, and now there's a wedge. I don't deal with them. I can't stand them. I would much rather take a stand for what's right and for my Father in heaven and let the chips fall where they may. If you cut yourself off from me, you don't want to talk to me, you don't want to deal with me because I choose to serve him and his son, the Messiah, then that's on you. I don't know what to tell you. That's on you. So this whole thing is about right and wrong, period. And I'm not telling you to cut family off because of a belief. No. If your family cuts you off, now Mr. Cunningham telling the members of House of Prayer that they need to cut off family, that's a different message. The Messiah never said that. The disciples never said that. He said, come out from among them and be you separate. He didn't say cut yourself off, because if they still want to commune with you, you commune with them because maybe you can reach them. You talk to anybody who talks to you. The scripture says be instant, in season and out of season. You be ready to talk to anyone at any given time. But you don't cut yourself off from nobody, especially because you believe in a man, when the scripture says to put your trust in no man. And then Mr. Cunningham going to simply say, and some people got the nerve to think that's talking about me. I don't think it's talking about you at all. I don't think that scripture's talking about him. I know the scripture's talking about him. To not put your trust in any man, including a man named Cunningham. To not put your trust in him, especially if he's cunning, like the serpent. This is all kinds of cunning. There's cunning men out here who use their cunning for good. But then there's cunning men out here who use their cunning for all kinds of other things. And this is what it is that you're demonstrating, that you're using your wits and your cunning for things other than good. You are a man to be warned about. Like the scripture said, mark them who cause divisions among you. I'm not the one causing division amongst the members of the House of Prayer. I'm the one keeping the law to try to make the members of the House of Prayer aware of who you and those men are sitting up there in those seats. And this is exactly what the Messiah did when he called them vipers. The generation of vipers, low down, dirty snakes, vipers. Thank you for hitting the thumbs and subscribe to the channel. It helps the algorithm to spread and the good news. Thank you. Change is already here. All praises to our Heavenly Father. Thank you again, Lies of Him and Her. I appreciate you. Um, and let me believe, Brother Lewis, first and foremost, I need you to understand that I'm not upset at all. I'm not upset. I'm only being a realist. I do have my own mind. Absolutely, yes. And I'm grateful for that. And this is why I tell everybody, please share your thoughts. um, but I can't reiterate enough. Don't take the things that I say also out of context. When I hear your comments, I'm speaking to a recording where everybody who's listening is going to hear it. When I read comments, and I say this quite often, when I read comments, I'm speaking in general to everyone. There might be 869,000 viewers that may view this video over the next however many number of years. I don't know how people are going to receive what I'm saying. I can only speak the truth, and I can only speak it in such a way that I emphasize the importance of the points that I'm trying to make so that they can understand to lead their attention to Him. But when I address comments, it's not directed towards the individual who commented. Um, so this is why I say I appreciate the comments, and it helps the conversation because, as I've said, it allows me also to hear different things that I can put in other videos to also touch on to help other people. Everybody's not going to hear your comment, but with the video, everybody will hear your comment and the response being amplified. And that's where it helps benefit the people. So, absolutely, I'm glad that you have your own mind and everyone else, grateful for that. However, understand that in my responses, it's going to be in general to everyone, to everyone. Um, Elkanan, be watchful. And thank you again, Baby Blue. Be watchful, brothers and sisters, so that none of you develop a corrupt, unbelieving heart that turns you away from the living Elohim. Absolutely. We need to keep our eyes on Him at all times. And this is what I'm getting at, to take our minds off of these men in the organization and keep our eyes, our attention, our mind on Him while we're even undoing this ridiculousness that has been involved in the house of prayer, while just going around to collect bags full of money and saying that he's coming to bring blessings. What blessings is he coming to bring when he has his hand out to take? Every time he, every time the bishops visit, they come to take. Tell me anything that they've left besides heartache, depression, more sickness, more poverty, bills. One bishop left the congregation a bill. That congregation paid $11,000 plus. I think it was $11,400 for a hotel for one night for him and his entourage. Five-star hotel, over $11,000. Because the pastor did not have that money in his treasury, and they were still trying to raise it with other donations coming from other congregations, which is crazy. Because why should another congregation have to pay money for you to put the bishop up in a hotel in your city when he's not coming over here to mine? All of this additional financial burden on the people is ridiculous. But when the bishop left, the pastor, he didn't have the money, so he asked one of the members, a senior citizen, if she did not mind putting it on her credit card, which she did. Of course, the pastor didn't have the money to pay it back. So now she's stuck with the balance of a bill, something like $5,000 or $6,000, if I'm not mistaken. But the pastor got a bill from the restaurant. The restaurant was over $1,000 bill that him and his entourage had eaten and left it to be placed on the pastor. These are multimillionaires. It is sickening what these bishops are doing while calling themselves servants of the Most High. It's a downright shame. MBNNC, I'm sorry, top of the world. The walkathon registration list will show Cunningham, who is somewhat on his side. The walkathon registration list will show Cunningham, oh, who is somewhat on his side. Right. So he'll know who to tell the pastors to elect for the General Assembly. There will be no walk after the list. That's um, that's pretty insightful, um, and I would probably agree with you. The only issue is by the time he gets the list, May 1st, I think, is the deadline. Um, Most of, if not all of the pastors would have had their elections to turn them in. I think the deadline for turning in the delegates' names that are being elected to the General Assembly, I think it's the last weekend in April. Um, Besides that, oh, top of the world. It's hard. So to register for the walkathon does give some credence to the members who register to allow Mr. Cunningham to at least feel as if they support him. However, it's not I was about to say something that's not mandatory, but let me go back over that. Um, it's not mandatory. I was about to say. Let me find it. Here. Okay. Walkathon. Register, register, register. To get more. Okay. So there's another text that I got from someone. I think that they said that he wanted every member to participate in the walkathon. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he said every member. Um, so if that was the case, and every member was to participate in the walkathon, then that might be something that he can go on. Well, I want to know what member did not register because that means that they did not follow my order. And if they didn't follow my order, well, then I need to have their name on the list and maybe keep them out of the General Assembly. That's where my head was going. My thoughts were going. And it's possible if it was mandatory for every member to register to get in the walkathon. In fact, yeah, now that I'm remembering, um, it was every member. He wanted every member, every member. And those exact words is what moved me to say that he was trying to see how many members of the organization are in support of him. So you're probably right. The walkathon registration list will show Cunningham who is somewhat on his side, so he'll know who to tell the pastors to elect. You're probably right, but not so much elect. Remember here, and this is how you all need to understand how the the paperworks, the constitution's work, um, the general council, trials, general assembly, article 4. Okay, so the constitution says here, article 5, the constitution says, an elected, section 8, the credentials committee shall be appointed by the bishop at least 30 days prior to the meeting date, and said committee shall resolve all questions involving the certification of representatives. Under the new constitution that Cunningham had fixed up, Article 5, Section 8, the credentials committee shall be appointed by the bishop at least 30 days prior to the meeting date, and said committee shall have the authority to reject the certification of representatives based on the criteria set forth herein. So this might be a very good point you made, because according to the Constitution that he's fixed up, that the members of the organization don't know anything about, then yes, it very well could be used as a list to put names at that door of the General Assembly to not allow them to come in, even if they've been elected as a delegate, because now Mr. Cunningham gave the Credentials Committee the authority to reject delegates at the door if they don't meet certain criteria, which is not inside this book. So you may have something there. And members, I'm telling you, this is where we are. This is where we are, unfortunately. But the way to fix it is for the members, unfortunately, to do what I'm going to be telling you all to do inside the General Assembly. So y'all can see he's running defense. He doesn't care that y'all know that he's a snake. He doesn't care that you know that he's corrupt. He doesn't care that you know that he's a liar or he's manipulative or that they're stealing the money, they're misappropriating funds. All that stuff is out there now. So now it's whatever. I don't care what y'all think about me. He already said, if you're going to stay in here, you're going to follow me, period, point blank. Jimmy Jones gets up behind him. If y'all don't like him, get out the door. This is what we have. This is what you're dealing with. So while they think that they're catching everybody at the door, no problem. If you've been elected and as a delegate, then just email us. No one's going to know. I will give you some instructions from there. There's certain things I'm going to be saying here on the channel, but there's certain things I will be sharing with you if you've been elected. So very good point, top of the world. MBNNC at BNA, I get it. You sound like you're tired, waiting for change. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Galatians 6:9. Thank you, NBNNC. Absolutely. And yeah, BNA, again, to piggyback off of what she said, in speaking to your comments and addressing everyone, I want to reiterate that these comments are coming from people who are sincerely speaking from their heart and sharing their thoughts. When I'm answering comments, I'm speaking from my heart, answering the thoughts of concerned individuals, but to a general audience, to everyone, not to that individual specifically. So I want to thank you, NBNNC, and I would thank you, BNA, again, for your comments and for being upfront and honest and truthful about your thoughts. Same thing with Baby Blue and others. There's 2 or 3 more that made comments that seemed a bit like they might have been angry, afraid, tired, intimidated, when one of them I learned was just upset all over the place at what's going on and they can't stand it. They don't like it. I get it. This is a very emotional time for a lot of people, especially to know all this stuff and the dirt that's going on behind closed doors. Um, and it looks like Mr. Cunningham is saying he does not care. Don't worry about none of that. All of this is going to change the day that whatever changes. We just don't know what day that is yet. So, again, just hang in there, um, and don't fixate in your mind the outcome of anything. He's got it. Whatever his will is, we pray that to be done. So, absolutely, NB and NNC. Um, Screen says many are still in their mindset that Mr. Cunningham is God's man. This is why they feel nothing will happen. So, who do you believe is really in charge? Right? Is it the man or is it the father? The man or the father? Right? So, we have to put our trust in one or the other. Some people don't trust in anything. But again, I get it. It's an emotional issue. And this is where people have poured their heart, their mind, their blood, their strength, their time. They've seen family members, they've seen generations just pour and pour and pour. People are hurt. And I get it. I get it. Don't believe I don't get it. Don't think for an instant that I don't understand. I do. I'm not coming at anyone. I'm just trying to do what I can to make sure that you hear me say, don't let this bother you, and keep your trust focused on Him. Um, so thank you so much for that comment. Also, Bemerkment, the House of Prayer has had 100-year head start, people. This is not going to happen overnight. Right. We just got started. Um, on our part, we just got started, but we've made a lot of ground. We've covered a lot of ground. There's been a lot of leadway, even though the videos have been out since the end of 24, the beginning of last year. But we reached outside. Like I said, it's been 4 months. So just hang in there. Kenny, hey, Kenny, yes, he hardened his heart to show his great power. How long did it take to bring them out of bondage? The Creator has his own time, which is the right time. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Many people think that it took Moses a few weeks to bring Israel out of Egypt. Mm-mm. Y'all go back to that scripture. Go back to Exodus. You'll find that there's little teeny tiny cues that let you know that there was some time that Moses was in Egypt. So that was to prepare the people's heart too, and to try them to see who's going to believe what Moses is doing, who's going to put their trust in the Father, as well as to watch him overthrow the false deities of Egypt. They saw him, even though there was no image of him, right? There's no name that they knew of him. I am that I am, right? He's invisible, but you trust in him anyway because there's a man right there who speaks on his behalf with a stick in his hand and his brother, right? That's what you get. But look at what happened, right? Absolutely. Baby Blue, I did take a stand. That's why I'm not no longer in the house of prayer because of the corruption, the lies, deceit. I would still love to see justice prevail, but it wouldn't matter to me one way or the other. Um, yes, and I believe that comment was made back when I was saying what I was saying earlier. Um, Before I said that my comments are general comments. Here's the thing, everybody. Listen, I'm not saying what I'm saying to upset anyone. I'm not saying what I'm saying to come at anyone. I'm not saying what I'm saying to get anybody straight, to get anybody fixed. We've been dealing with that in the house of prayer from these leaders who's been intimidating people all day long. And they're not only intimidating people, but instilling fear in people. So my saying what I'm saying in such a generalized statement, again, there's people all over the place listening to these videos. There's groups of people listening to these videos. And I need everyone to hear exactly what I'm saying when I say what I say. So by all means, don't take what I say as if I'm adding anyone. I'm not adding anyone. And for the individuals, again, who share your thoughts, I'm appreciative. And this is why I thank you for those thoughts. But in, again, general, I'm speaking to everyone. I can't tell you all how much time I spend trying to get people to understand that I was not saying anything about them directly. I cannot tell you all how much time it takes to get across to people that I've heard from or not heard from. Um, Sometimes non members that I have not heard from in years. Sometimes those that I might have heard from over the last few months. And right after we begin, talking and catching up again, then something comes up that I don't know that they were pricked by something I said. But all I can say is I'm not speaking to you directly. And I had to learn to not take things that people say out of context. And so by me saying to myself, well, they didn't mean anything by it, and I just let it wash off my back. Come to find out later, they didn't mean anything by it. And when I talk to them, our conversation is still the same. So again, I can just be 100% genuine. I don't want to be disingenuous. I don't want to bite my tongue. So, and I don't think that you all would want me to bite my tongue anyway. Um, but with that in mind, um, the people need to hear collectively exactly what it is that needs to be heard. Sometimes they need to feel it. I'm not saying anything to hit anyone. I'm not saying anything because I think people need to be hit. I'm talking to 100 different personalities with 100 different characteristics and 100 different qualities. Some people are angry, some are depressed, some people are sarcastic, some people are hopeful, some people are hopeless, some people are just ready to give it all up. But I'm talking to everybody. And with that in mind, I can only keep on allowing you all to hear me say that and to not take anything I say personally. I've been called a clown. I'm not taking it personal. um, Mr. Cunningham called me, he's called me, said I have Satan's spirit. This is not personal. I know that he's running because he knows that he got caught. Mr. Taylor, he's going down with him. It's not personal. They're not saying this stuff because I got a problem with Lewis. They have a problem with Lewis because Lewis is trying to make them be held accountable. It's not a personal problem they have with me. They have jealousy, they have envy, but their problem stems from the fact that I'm exposing what they're doing. That's all. So I don't take that personal. Um, so, yes, and I do know everything you just shared. And I know some of you how difficult it is and how hard it is, just like Baby Blue said. Um, to stand and to no longer be a member of, and how difficult it is to come to that conclusion and to have to be faced with your decisions and your choices with family members and friends. But again, I need you all to understand this is not directed towards you all individually. So I'm grateful for all of you that's here, that's a part of this, because you all help to make it even that much better. Um, B. Mebdeman says, "Tell us, Pastor, stop looking at the man in the chair. People wake up." Absolutely. In fact, here's something else. And uh, you who shared this with me today, uh, again, I thank you. And Okay. So apparently, Buffalo, um, they went, but they didn't go inside. And the report is that Mr. Cunningham said he wasn't going. So the report is that people went to the house of prayer in Buffalo, but they didn't get off the bus, and that Mr. Cunningham said he wasn't going. I can only believe that that decision was made at the last minute as a result of us putting this information out on the video to alert people of the fact that this is what he's doing anyway. And I wholeheartedly believe that if it had not been for the video, Mr. Cunningham would be right there in service with them, or doing what he did in Dallas, sent the buses to Dallas anyway on their way to California. But they couldn't have service in Dallas because Dallas had shut down the House of Prayer because the weather conditions were so bad. But Mr. Cunningham didn't stop in Dallas. He went straight across to LA because why am I going to put myself in that danger? I'm not doing that. But you got the buses out here traveling across the country through that snow. What kind of concern is this for the people? Anyway, people, look at what happened in Buffalo and pay attention to what's going on right now as those buses roll up to every house of prayer that they're going to be visiting within this next week. Um, Here, the lives of him and her. Thank you. Wow. Wait a minute. Whew. Okay. Uh, Thank you for joining in the discussion tonight. Thank you for joining in the discussion tonight. We appreciate your engagement. Please thumbs up the video. Um, Absolutely. Thank you again. MBNNC, Top of the World. At Top of the World, is it true that you have to pay for the walkathon registration? We got to pay to walk now? Shake my head. Uh, I heard that there's going to be raffle drawings. I think that was at one of the houses down south. I'm not sure. Um, and I too did not know, had not heard that you have to pay to register for the walkathon. If that's the case, if I hear from anyone, I'll pass this information on. But if that's the case, that's just also dirty and slow down. But I don't put it past Mr. Cunningham because he's done some other low down, dirty things, to include um, uh, things that require people to pay. Uh, so even Miami this year, um, it was a bust. A lot of people did not hear anything as much as they did last year about Miami, and individuals getting there to the park for whatever that event was. I'm told, and I reported on the video, that um, they had to pay $25 to get in. And many of the people said, I'm not going to do that. And they didn't. And so you saw a lot of people outside. And the video that I have showed a lot of empty space inside that field where Mr. Cunningham was. So it sounds like it could have been another scam. um, Bine, at Baby Blue, I agree with you 1,000%. I'm waiting for justice to prevail. However, I'm removed from this cult. Um, yes, and again, um, many people don't like the things that have happened in here. Many people don't desire the things that have happened in here. But the bottom line is, again, everybody, as I've said, um, we have such a diverse mixture of people. A lot of people are offended and upset by the things that happen. Um, but even though you're upset about the things that have happened, even though you're angry about it or mad about it or upset about it, and family members, friends, individuals, the memories that we've had, the camaraderie, and all of the experiences, it is upsetting. It's very upsetting. But again, the fact is that it takes the people to fix this. I could have easily walked out the House of Prayer and left everything behind. I could have just left. I need everybody to hear this. What if I had done that? What would Mr. Cunningham be doing right now? He had already said that he's the second coming. He represents the second coming. He's the reincarnated version of Christ. He's the late model version. He's God on earth. I got his blood separated from Mary's womb. I have all the power that he had, that the disciples had, and what they did. That's in my hand. All I got to do is wave my hand. Now we don't even see the wave. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. He do this, and people looking like, there's the wave. How much more damage would he be doing if he had nothing but freedom and the liberties to just run free? No leash, nobody questioning. What if? What would this man be doing right now? I could have easily walked. I too have family in here, friends over 40 years of my life, all around the organization. The highlight of my participation in the organization was Mr. Bailey giving me standing ovations in different locations, ready to build the largest house of prayer in the organization. I still have not told anyone about the meeting that we had where he put everybody out and the things he said to me. And all these people all around the organization, 2 to 2.5 hours it would take me to leave a service because so many people wanted to talk to me. I wasn't caught up on that. All of this shouting, walking from states to states with my mother on the highway, Mr. Cunningham cracking jokes about it. But yet, here I am. Here I am. It would be easy for me to simply walk away after all the things I've been through, after all the things that have been done to me personally in front of the organization, the lies that I've endured, the humiliation, time and time and time and time and time again. I left once, stayed away for a few years, came back, brought my wife. They start again. It would be easy. Yes, it's upsetting. Yes, it is a cult. Yes, it's angering. It's very, very upsetting. However, I need all of you who are still here, a part of this, helping with this, to understand the emphasis is on what can we do to fix this. If I thought about what I need to do to rid myself of this, we wouldn't be here. It would be so much worse. Can you imagine what the services would be like? packed to the hilt, with all these people still indoctrinated. And even more so because Mr. Cunningham now got this wave. This man is vibrant. He's energetic. He's running up and down the aisle. He's running out the door, running back in, giving people high fives. He looked like Bishop Grace. He looked like Bishop McCullough. Looked like Bishop Mack. Look at the suits. Look at the this. Look at the, can you imagine? And all he's doing is trying to take more and more and more and more people's money. Where would we be? We are in this together. All of us. He is not done yet. There's still people in the house of prayer, just like a house fire, that need to be delivered. And when I say house of prayer, I don't mean the organization to bring them out. They need to be delivered from the indoctrination. And the organization can be cleaned up, can be fixed up, because there's a whole lot of good that he can get from the organization for his glory, for his honor. This is what I'm saying. It's upsetting, it's angering, yes, but don't let those things bother us. More things are going to come, more things are going to be upsetting, but don't let those things bother us. Okay? I hope that everybody can hear me. Top of the World says, and thank you again, Bine. Top of the World says, Delaney should be ashamed of how he stopped preaching about our Heavenly Father and started worshiping about Cunningham. He was the only pastor in DC that talked against him at first. Yes, he said a whole lot. And Mr. Cunningham was telling Mr. Delaney to stop speaking about the Messiah, stop preaching about the Messiah, and start preaching more Addie. And at the beginning, Mr. Delaney refused, and he continued. And I think that's today the reason why he's doing so much to please Mr. Cunningham. It's because his desire is on the title and the position there in Marshall Heights. And he may even want a bigger title. I think he would like to be in Anacostia. I think he would like to be in other places. But what he was hoping for is not happening because he compromised. We're supposed to be in it for him. And it's a shame because many people that I've talked to looked up to and they respected Mr. Delaney for that. And even now, it's even worse. There's some changes that have happened. People have left Marshall Heights just like many other places. And people said it's just going down. They're now back down to maybe 15 people. So he's trying different things, but nothing is working. Anyway, I try to keep you all posted. Cheryl Weidman. Cheryl, email me, please. I need to get in touch with you. When evil is in control, remember Isaiah 54:17, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And keep reading the scripture. All powers in our Father's hands. Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't let this stuff bother. Don't let any of this stuff bother us. Just keep on pushing forward. All the stuff that Mr. Cunningham be telling the members to not worry about the videos and not this, that, and the other. He's doing that because he knows that he's talking about himself. But absolutely, trust in him. Keep our trust in him. Reform Governance Committee retracted. Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding. Absolutely, which is why we're trying to do this, to expose what they're doing all over the place, to let the people see and understand what's between the lines, right? And I'll come back with more this week of the Constitution. So this is literally the tip of the iceberg. There's so much to talk about, but I have to try to take my time to make sure that you understand. I can easily read this stuff, and I can easily read it to allow you all to hear me reading it. But there's so much stuff, there's so much corruption, there's so much to explain how it works that I'm trying to make sure that everybody understands it in full so that you can share it with others when you go to speak to them. There's many members who didn't know that every elder is supposed to be in the general council, and we cover that today. Um, that the credentials committee is appointed by the bishop so that he can have more control. That the council, they're all over the place in the General Assembly because it's them taking more control. People didn't know this stuff before, but we need to let you know so that you understand how, again, to fix this. Um, Top of the world, we may not have been serving the Almighty the way we should have, but I'm still blessed for my service. Yes. Yes. Again, I've said in other videos, He knows our heart. So again, don't take what I'm saying out of context. He knows what my heart, He knows your heart. However, at the same token, all through the scripture, when people were following man, there was a consequence for following man. Now, He brought us out because He knows what's in our heart. But while we were there, we were serving man. I mean, at the end of the day, we were serving man. That's what we were doing. But He brought us out because He knows what's in our heart. So where we can say, I no longer do what I used to do. That's why I keep talking about myself in all of these videos. I did what all these members are doing, and if not more. When I talk about us being foolish, I say I was the biggest fool myself. But I need to say things in such a way that our members hear me because I know how I was. I want the truth. I don't want you watering nothing down. I don't want to hear nothing that I got to try to figure out. Are you talking about me? Or no, I'm going to say it straight and let the shoe falls wherever it falls. And if it falls on you, good. But I'm not throwing it at you. I'm just throwing seeds out there. And if He blesses one of the seeds to fall on you, then you should be thankful that He opened up the eyes so that we can see, oh, wait a minute, because that's how the gospel works. It's thrown out to whosoever will receive it, believe it, so that we can come. And that's where the blessing is, right? So, yeah, I'm not saying that as we serve these men, we were devils. I'm saying that we didn't know, but everyone who's sincerely seeking Him, He knows how to reach us. And this is why we're here now. You say that the council can't do whatever they want, but they manage to get you out to tell your truth, credentials and all. Yeah, but again, they didn't get me out. They do what they do because they know they can't do whatever they want to do. So I keep saying this over and over and over again because people don't know my story. And I hear a lot of things people are saying, what the council did to me, what the bishops did to me, and all these other things, but none of it's true. And I'm not telling my story because of anything the council did to me. I'm not telling my story because of anything that the bishops did to me. I read this earlier. And look, this is a letter to Mr. Cunningham. There's 9 pages here. And it's not because I was upset. I said things in here. I'm sure you've read or heard of my letters. It's not because I had a problem with him. I wrote this to remind him of the things that I told them over 10 years ago. My issues were with them 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. Please feel free to call anytime, as my number has not changed. Let me know when you'd like to meet before the people to discuss these matters. I don't have nothing to hide. I have in here, I read it on the videos, the things that they've done to me back then. I left it alone. I didn't come making videos. I didn't come telling you all nothing whatsoever. I let the people think what they thought. But in the things that I'm saying it so that you all understand the truths as you also talk to other people. So the truth is about me. The council did nothing to me other than lied behind my back to Mr. Bailey. They used members to set me up by turning him against me. But my credential was never taken. My title was never taken. My house was never taken. The pastoralship was never taken. None of those things. Um, so, yeah, um, as we move forward, I keep wanting to try to correct information because the council has put out a lot of false information. And I do that so that you all have accurate information. But no, none of this is, again, about me. These videos are because my wife and I learned that the bishop of the House of Prayer has written constitutions that are unlawful. So these videos are about the entire organization being deceived. These videos are not about what the bishop did to me, what the council did to me, what anybody did to me. That's not what this is about. So if you all understand the bigger picture, then you'll understand the need for all of us to be involved. I'm not calling you all to come to rescue Lewis. I don't need to be rescued. I could easily go to the court myself and have sued the heck out of Mr. Cunningham, the entire general counsel, and clean the organization out if I had a problem with the organization. I still haven't gone to court yet. So I just need you all to understand that even with what happened to me, this has nothing to do with this directly. Um, and yes, the council cannot do whatever they want. And I need you all to understand that they absolutely cannot do whatever they want. I've been in that council and confronted the whole, I said again, I called the entire court a bunch of clowns. I called everyone with Mr. Cunningham sitting there. You're running a circus, and I respect none of you as men. I filed charges against the council. I accused them, rather. In the seat, in the court, they all sat there and listened. They know there's nothing they can do. And I'm telling y'all this because it's not because I'm just making stuff up. I've done it. I'm not telling you all something that I did not do. I've sat in these courts and confronted all of these men. There's nothing that they can do. I can say it over and over and over and over and over again. But I guess what needs to be said is, what do y'all think is going to happen? Nothing's going to, what, they're going to grab you and drag you out? There's nothing they can do. And the reason why they won't never do that is because they know people can get on their phone, dial 911, and have them arrested for assault. It's that simple. But our people are not thinking logically from a place of law. This is what I'm trying to get everybody to understand. And it starts with our Constitution. Mr. Lewis, please don't take these comments personal. And I thank you for your comments. I don't take them personal, as we are only speaking realistically in regards to how people might act in this matter. I know you're speaking from your reality, but your reality is not reality. Y'all, please hear me on this. Y'all want me to hear y'all, but I need y'all to hear me. I've had case. I don't know how many cases and people over and over and over. Lewis is going to have Lewis. That stuff is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's your fear talking. That's your intimidation talking. When you say the council are going to do whatever they want, that's your fear talking. That's fear. It's not faith in our Father. It's not trust in our Father. And even if you don't have faith and trust in the Father, you still have the laws of the land. There's times when I've walked away from people because I know the law. And I know if I've put my hand on people, and if I lose it, now I'm going to be facing the law. There is a real law that has real penalties for our real behavior. And members of the organization, please understand that the leaders, the general counsel, the people in here can do nothing to you. They only get away with this stuff because our people let them. That's all. It's because the people let them. So, and for those of you who think that I'm not coming out right now because the council might do something, I've been out several times, continue to go out, and I keep trying not to make this about me. But again, there's a lot of things that is going out that are not true, it's false. Why do y'all think that I said in a video 2 weeks ago from Mr. Cunningham, people think I can't come onto the properties of House of Prayer? Of course I can come onto the properties of House of Prayer. And I told him, if you want me to not come onto the properties, just say it. Say it openly. Say it openly. If you have that authority to tell me I cannot come to the house of prayer, say it openly. What did he do, everybody? He did nothing. He never said it. He never said it anytime openly that I can't come to the house of prayer because he knows that he can't. He knows that I can still come to the house of prayer. He knows that I will still come to the house of prayer. If he called me a coward one week and I showed up at a baptism with a bullhorn the next week, what gives anybody the impression that I will not go to the house of prayer? They can't do whatever they want. They can't. They can't. And I need y'all to hear this. This is the reason why many people are saying, well, because of fear, they can't do what they want. And if anything were to happen, again, to anyone, if they grab you and put you out, okay, well, then you use that to make an example out of them. That's why people who deal with police, if they're grabbed and mistreated, they make an example. They take them to court and they sue the city. Guess what? Police department won't try that again. So, people, I'm just saying, the house of prayer is not the end all be all. There's laws that the organization must follow. It's that simple. I can't say it any more straightforward than that. But I do completely understand exactly where you're coming from, top of the world. I do. Grateful for it all. Why no public attention? Not understanding that. There's two things. One, our people don't need to be saved. Our people don't need people outside to come in and save them. Our people need to stand up and do what's necessary to fix this ourselves. We don't need people to come inside and fix it. Public attention. Public attention is going to, yes, make people look at the house of prayer and will be more of a bigger spectacle. than what we already are. Um, and at the same token, public attention is going to put pressure on authorities. But the authorities is not going to come into the house of prayer just because we have media. It doesn't work that way. This is a religious institution. The outside authorities will only come in here if they have reason to come in here. So everything that needed to be done for outside to come in has been done for some outside agencies. But I've said there's a bunch of outside agencies. So again, for the people who's waiting for outside, why wait? If you all go online and check for yourselves to see what's the wait period for an outside agency to look into a issue in a nonprofit and to come inside and fix it, there will be no standard. There's no guarantees that outside is going to come in. So instead of us waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, I've said before, over and over and over again, I say it again, it takes less than 4 weeks for the members of the organization to completely fix all of this. But I don't see the members of the organization standing up and saying, let's fix this. It'll take us less than 4 weeks. And Mr. Cunningham and the general counsel, they all know. So far, up to date, the members of this organization has yet to come together and stand against them. They know that. I don't even have to say this. The members have yet to come together and stand up against the leaders. And all it takes is a couple of things. And in less than 4 weeks' time, outside can take several weeks to come in. They can take several months, up to 2 years to investigate. And it can take another year to go to trial or 2 years to go to trial. We can fix this in less than 4 weeks, and we're waiting for outside. I said this last year before the General Assembly that we can fix this in less than 4 weeks. We're here a year later. Why? Because the members have not come together so that we can fix this in less than 4 weeks. So this is my point. We need to do this, not look for outside to do it. We need to do it. That's why I talked about Moses bringing the Israelites out, because everything the Israelites needed to be done, he did it. He did everything and brought them out himself. He did it. The Israelites didn't have to fight. They didn't have to stand up. They didn't have to do anything. He did it. But to get the promised land, he wanted Moses to build an army. He told Moses to build an army, and he told him what to do. And he told them that y'all go and y'all take the land that I've given to you. All they had to do is follow his instructions. He said, y'all go take it. I've given it to you. Just like I gave you your freedom, I gave you that land. Now go take it. And what did he see? He saw that they were so afraid that they did not do what he said, even though he told them that is yours. It was a test. They saw what he did in Egypt, and now they're too afraid of what they see over there to put their trust in him when he already said it's yours. I need you to step out on me and my word. So, yeah, outside is not the answer. Outside is never the answer for any organization. It's never the answer, ever. It's just like calling the police is never the answer for a domestic dispute. Never. But people call them because sometimes the dispute just won't stop. And sometimes you got to call the police. That's what they're there for. If somebody just won't stop, and this person won't stop them, then yeah, somebody needs to call the police so that they can come in. And maybe something will be done from the outside to cause this, whatever it is, to get fixed. But no institution should ever rely on outside to fix it, ever, unless there's absolutely no way whatsoever that it can be fixed from within. And instead of me saying, our people ain't going to do jack, our people not going to do nothing. Well, no. Again, we've just started. It's over 108 years worth of indoctrination. And that's what our people keep forgetting. This is what B. Mebderman said earlier. Our people keep forgetting that. Over 108 years, me and my wife, we put up videos. We now have a committee helping us, working with us. But they have a lot of money. They have a lot of pastors, a lot of councilmen, and you have a system that's been operating for all this time. We just came in and started. So, yeah, it's not. And again, there's things that I can't say, but all I can say is trust what I'm sharing with you and join in with us or pray with us. Join in with us or pray with us. But thank you for that comment. Reforming Governance, Exodus 20 and 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought these out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Absolutely. And again, he was doing that to show them that you can trust me. After he did all of that, the question is, why didn't they trust him? Right? And we saw what happened as they continued not trusting him. Grateful for it all. It doesn't matter who it is. The United House of Prayer does not need a bishop. No organization needs a bishop. But the law has to be used until the law is replaced. And the law in the House of Prayer is that they have a bishop. Now, until that law is replaced, that's the law that the organization unfortunately is stuck with. And that's why Mr. Cunningham is doing what he's doing, because we have not replaced the law yet. And until the members replaces the law, that, according to the law of the land, is the law. And according to the law of the land, this organization must have a bishop because that's the law. And until the members change that law, the House of Prayer must have a bishop. So when I said, yeah, I will be a bishop, I'm not saying I want to be a bishop. I'm not saying that I would accept a bishop and I would be a bishop for until the day I die. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you use the law that you have until you fix or replace the law, right? So you use what you got until you fix it. So, in other words, there must be a bishop. And whatever comes after that is up to the bishop. So, Mr. Cunningham has already demonstrated to the entire organization what he's about as the bishop. He has demonstrated to everybody in here that he's about the same thing that the bishop before him was about. So, we have not seen a bishop come in and do anything whatsoever to be about the laws of the land, to be about the needs of the people, to be about helping society, to be about saving of souls. We have not seen a bishop in the House of Prayer to do that yet. So the problem is not in a title of bishop. Even if you remove the title bishop and you say, okay, well, CEO, let's leave that title. But if the man is still corrupt, then he's going to be corrupt as a CEO, even if he's not the title of the bishop. If you say, okay, well, we use the title of apostle, well, the same corrupt man is going to be corrupt. Whether or not he's called a bishop, apostle, elder, deacon, chairman, president of the whatever, the title is not the problem. The problem is the person who's in the office. And removing a title does not fix this issue. This issue must be fixed by going into the law. That's the only way we fix the problems in the house of prayer. That's the only way. So I hear what you're saying, and um, I understand what you're saying 100%. But the people don't, I don't think, hear and understand, and that's why I went that route, that direction. Having a bishop is not an issue. Yeah, we can have one. We can have 10 bishops. Having bishops is not the issue. I don't think we need to have bishops. I don't think we need to have apostles. I don't think we need to have pastors. But my thinking is not on the table for everybody to understand what I just said. And that's another problem. We're not trying to understand what people are saying. We're just either taking sides with what people are saying or condemning with what people are saying without seeking and understanding. If people were understanding what Mr. Cunningham is saying, they wouldn't have nothing to do with this man. But people don't understand what he's saying. If they were understanding what I'm saying, then this whole thing would have been fixed already. But people don't understand what I'm saying. And that's why I'm now going back to the law to take it a bit at a time to break it down for everyone to understand. This organization can only be fixed by fixing this. That's the only way this organization will be fixed. It's the only way, according to the law of the land. This is it. This is it. And even if outside come in, what are they going to look at? They're going to look at this. Everyone understand this is the only thing that can fix this house of prayer. And the members from within are the only people that can fix this. If outside come in, they're going to look at what they're doing, but they're not going to fix this. They're going to tell the people, y'all fix this. That's going to be their answer if they choose to go that route. If they choose to go another route or 3 other routes, the people are going to regret ever bringing outside inside. Ever. Because you don't tell them what to do. And that's what I'm trying to get across to people. When you have the police come into your home, it's not always going to end up the way you thought it would. Sometimes the police end up arresting everybody in there. Sometimes they end up beating up everybody in there. Sometimes police come shooting people in there. Sometimes they come in talking to people. You just don't know. You never know. And our members need to understand when you have a problem in your house, the best outcome is gained if the ones who live in the house fix that problem. So this is all I'm saying we need to do. We need to fix this. But absolutely grateful for it all. Absolutely. I understand what you're saying. B. Medberman, top head councilman, are you being paid off? Well, the ones that run their own businesses. Yes, many of the councilmen are being paid. Many of the councilmen being paid. Many of them got all kinds of backdoor deals that none of the people know about. Absolutely, 100%. And all that stuff can be dealt with, but we got to deal with first things first. The General Assembly is where it's at. Maybe I can't say it enough. I'm not nowhere nearly upset nor intimidated. I'm only expressing how I feel as others. That's all I'm doing. And again, I'm a real. I can't say this enough either. I'm not talking to individuals that are commenting. I'm, again, being as general as I possibly can. So the point is, when we comment, we have to think about how we're presenting information. That information is either going to uplift, tear down, is going to instill fear, is going to instill confidence, is going to instill encouragement, is going to instill dissuasion. All I'm saying is we have a lot of people who are intimidated and afraid. If that's not you, then I'm not talking to you. If that's not any of you out here, then I'm not talking to them. The ones who are intimidated, the ones who are afraid, that's what I'm talking to. The ones who don't know they're intimidated, and yet the things I'm saying about those who are intimidated, if that feels like that's them, I'm talking to them too. Every single thing I'm saying is to encourage everybody in here. Not one single thing am I saying to offend anybody in here. So again, I can't say it enough. I don't want to water down what it is I have to say that I can say in response to any comments or questions. But again, as a realist, I will say again, nobody here, nobody outside the house of prayer, nobody on the planet knows what anybody is going to do in the General Assembly. Not one person in here knows, not one, including me. Nobody knows what anybody is going to do in the General Assembly. Nobody knows what's going to be the outcome of the General Assembly. No one. There's not one single person on this planet that knows what's going to happen inside of the General Assembly. That's the point that I'm making. So anybody who's saying what's going to happen in the General Assembly, I'm saying that's not true. Let's not say it because nobody knows what's going to happen. That is the God's honest truth, our Father's honest truth. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the General Assembly. We can be upset, we can be offended, we can assume, we can presume, but nobody knows. And that's what I'm getting at. And I'm a realist, I think more real than anybody else that I know because of my experiences and the background that I've had and the things that I've dealt with. I put all of my trust in Him, and things that are way ridiculously difficult and impossible is nothing. That's nothing. The house of prayer situation, Cunningham, this council, this ain't nothing for Him. It's nothing whatsoever for Him. So me, I don't ever limit Him and what He can do. I don't ever say what's not going to happen if I want it. The Messiah said, if two of you, two or three, ask anything in my name, touching and agreeing, it will be done. My hope is in Him. If we all come together and put all of our hope in Him, then we would never, ever present a thought or an idea that nothing's going to go a certain way. That's all I'm saying. And again, all of you that are realists, I need you to understand, even though you're realists, you cannot dictate what tomorrow's going to bring. I cannot dictate it. I've tried many times. Last year, I said there was not going to be a Miami. Miami came and went. This year, I didn't say there's not going to be a Miami. I learned from last year. I will tell people in a heartbeat, yeah, I'm learning. I don't know it all. I'm still learning today. So because I know what's going on behind different scenes and I have a little bit of it, oh, sure enough, this is going to happen. Listen, this is going to, I don't talk like that no more. I did last year, but I was putting my trust in people. Now, forget people. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to sit back and watch Him work. That's what I'm saying to everyone. Where was I? Oh, and so, yes, Baby Blue, I'm not saying this towards you. Again, this is a blanket statement to everybody that none of us know And my encouragement to everyone to sit back and wait. None of us knows what's going to happen in the General Assembly or anywhere else for that matter. Um, Irene, yes, the members can call a meeting, a General Assembly meeting before 30th of May and take care of it. Yes. And see, you just answered a question. I didn't say it, but I asked, is there anything that can be done in the next 4 weeks? And that's the answer right there. The members can call a meeting, a General Assembly, before the General Assembly that Cunningham is planning for. The members can easily call for a meeting. And if the members of the organization have representation from all these houses in a meeting, that same day, all of this is over. That's how simple this is. That's how easy this is. But the people would have to come together. So 100% thank you for that. Um, Grateful for it all. Stop going to service and stop support. Stop supporting. But they have to go to service in order to be a delegate. Stop supporting. I was going to service and I wasn't supporting, but I was going to service. Um, and was I still a faithful member? Yes. Can you be faithful and not support? Yes. You're just a faithful member who's not supporting, but you're still faithful. And that's because the language does not specify what faithful is. So again, we need to learn all this stuff. Um, Reform and Governance Committee, continue to read and learn the Constitution and supreme laws. We can stop this at the General Assembly. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to continue to go over this law so that everybody understands it. NB and NC at grade 4 or all 25 agreed. But again, how can we have anybody in the General Assembly if nobody is going to service? Right? That's the catch-22. That's what Mr. Cunningham knows. And that's why he tells people, you don't like what's going on, get your hat and coat and leave. Because he don't want them in the General Assembly. You can't be in the General Assembly if you're not going to service. So how do you fix it? You got to be in the service. That's how we fix it. And that's where it all lies. But that's the thing. That's why he's involved, because he knows who he's going to use. Reform governance. There is certainly a lot to question when it comes to the dealings between Murray and Cunningham. Somebody's got some explaining to do. Yes. Somebody's got some serious explaining to do. Absolutely. Jesus said, keep doing what you're doing. I once was young and now I'm old. Yet have I never seen the righteous forsaken nor his seed begging for bread. Absolutely. Thank you so much. If we all just stood, but the thing is, we got to learn. It starts with this. This is how we learn. Yeah, there's going to be some bumps in the road. Yeah, there's going to be some ups and downs. There might be some head butting, but this is how we come together. This is how we learn. And so, again, I encourage everybody to continue doing what you're doing so that we can keep moving forward together. I'm grateful for it all. Members need to walk down that middle aisle and demand answers, period. It should never have taken this long to get answers. Right. But think about it. We still don't have answers. Right. And answers will never come. Unfortunately, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but answers will never, ever, ever, ever come until and unless the members go to the General Assembly and do what's necessary to remove the leaders and replace them and rewrite the Constitution. That's all that needs to happen. Peace abide. We have to continue to put our trust in our Father in heaven. Absolutely. Absolutely. The house of prayer, be Benjamin, People are afraid, but this is in God's hands, and let the truth be told and all be free. Absolutely. Um, but even with fear, there's something that, we still have to do. And again, just keep learning, keep on listening and learning. Maria, you weren't supposed to originally go in 2023 General Assembly, but our Father moved you from alternate to in, and oh boy, LOL, that changed. Yeah, I wasn't. That's my wife. That's Maria. I wasn't supposed to go, but I was voted in as a alternate. But the individual who was supposed to go was the secretary of the House of Prayer, who is nothing but a Cunningham fan. Oh boy. Well, he worked it out where she could not go, and I had to fill in as the alternate. And that is what took off this whole thing. And who knew that? Who knew that? Of course, he knew what he was doing. And that's how we got here, because he replaced her by sending me along with my wife. And that's how we ended up here. But he knew what he was doing. And yeah, it's been a wrap ever since. Thanks, Boo. Um, Peace abide. Brother Lewis is correct in saying that all the members that are going to the General Assembly are not indoctrinated. Right. Not everybody. Not everybody. And we don't know whose heart, again, he's going to open up. He's going to do what he needs to be done. Kareem says, Raggly Ann speaks through her owner. Oh, that's a good one. We did talk about Sesame Street. And it's unfortunate because, again, a lot of people, and I don't know what in the world Sister Cunningham was thinking to do what she did. I don't understand it at all. I just know that it should never have been done. Um, and I've given my take on this, but it was a complete and utter embarrassment. Um, so, anyway, MBNNC says, at Peace Abide, true, we do have spooks sitting by the door. Oh boy. Spooks sitting by the door, still in the organization. Good movie to watch. The Spook Who Sat by the Door in 1973. I'm writing it down. Spooks. Spooks. The Spook. The Spook. Who sat by the door? 1973. Okay. um, I'm sure right now Maria is pulling that up so that I'll have it when I get back in. Thanks, Boo. Um, and thank you, MBNNC. Um, Good movie. I haven't seen them. I'm gonna pull this up tonight. Peace Abide. Yes, pray and fast. Golden Boy, Raggedy Ann is Annabelle. A demon possessed doll might be worse than a dog. Uh, Poor little thing. That doll, though, it kills people and puts money on G. Oh, y'all, stop. Ah, um, Oh, oh gosh. Grateful for it all. If it's, if it's just going to be insults, I'll pass on the services. It's insults for now, maybe, but after the services comes the General Assembly. After the General Assembly, no more insults. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. When we've allowed bad to get worse and worse, to become awfully terrible and awfully terrible, to become complete lawlessness and zero accountability, then that's what we're stuck with. And in order to fix it, we got to deal with the crap temporarily and put up with the insanity so that we can be there to fix this whole nonsense. And that's what the council knows that it's going to take. And unfortunately for them, he's watching, and a lot of them are ending up in situations where their their bodies aren't looking too good. So, at any rate, um, yeah, we'll see what happens. Golden voices, I know, though, right? Reforming governance, that doll is rather interesting. Ever heard of a spirit doll? Absolutely, Chucky. Um, NNB, NNC, Voodoo doll from West Africa via Haiti, Louisiana. Yeah, and this is real. This is real. A lot of people don't know. Be Mevdaman, start by getting rid of the chairs and pictures, focus on Lord and Savior. Absolutely. All of that stuff has got to go. And I'm sure it will go eventually. And it's just a matter of time before everything is done in order to clean up in here. It's just a matter of time. But the people have to get fed up enough to do it. um, Corinne says, show people their original flyer so that they can see the changes that was made after you spoke about it on the video. The original flyer. Their original flyer. um, oh, so apparently there's another TikTok, a love letter to the first ladies and the pastors' wives of the House of Prayer for All People. This TikTok is for you and for the young people. To all first ladies and pastors, wives of the United House of Prayer for All People. A love letter just for you. So go check this out on TikTok. The sides are cut off on my phone. Um, but go there and look at it. I'm going to pull this up when I get back in. Um, and the TikTok is TikTok UHOP at UHOP Governance and Reformation Committee. In fact, let me pull it up again. UHOP at Governance and Reformation. Reformation and Governance, I'm sorry. Okay. And lastly, Okay. And apparently, I just got a text. Thank you so much. You know who you are. I appreciate you. Um, there was not a mandate from the bishop that all members sign up for the marathon. However, it may be a way for him to see who's watching your channel. That's actually insightful as well. I hadn't thought of that, but that's insightful as well. And thank you. You know who you are for sharing this with me. So apparently, it was not a mandate. It was just a notice that went out. Not for everybody to get involved was not a mandate, but it may be a way for him to see what's going on with the channel. Again, I appreciate that. Um, and we have someone else that sent something. The application of the principle of rotation to the selection of the place for the regular sessions of the General Assembly. The member states that may wish to make offers of a site shall communicate the offer in writing to the Secretary General of the organization by the deadline established by the General Assembly for the presentation of the proposals. The General Assembly, in deciding upon the offers of a place, shall take into account the principle of equitable geographic distribution. Um, hmm. So it looks like paperwork for a possible change of location for the General Assembly. And I need to look at this in depth so that I can explain it. What we need to understand is that the members have not been voting on these things. And again, this is a little bit of reading, so I'm going to go over this. Okay, so no, this is not for the House of Prayer. This is for someone else. And apparently, this is an example that somebody has sent to me so that they can show that there's something going on. Apparently, I need to run. Y'all saw me jump. In the meantime, you all take care, and I don't play with fire alarms. So y'all have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.